someone. I don't remember who it was.
By the way, Mr.
Hello,
Byrne, I
everyone.
hate you.
Okay. We'll join the long line of people that hate me, apparently.
Quite a lot. I had a playlist going on at work, and you'll never guess what song showed up in that friggin' playlist.
Which one?
It's by a little band you may not have heard called My Chemical Romance.
Oh, yes.
I literally stopped in the middle, like, working on something. I was like, son of a...
What song was it? Black Parade?
You betcha ass.
Yes. Yes, it was.
Rexus is passed out and unresponsive. A+.
Well, that's lovely. That's what we need.
If the man has to sleep, the man has to sleep.
No.
No.
He just said it's not allowed.
You have days off and you can sleep when you're dead.
Listen, this is not your job.
No, my job still expects me to show up even if I die.
Oh, that's fair.
If it's only the three of us, there's no point in fucking playing.
Yeah, there is, because Rage, Rexus, and Stealth did a much bigger combat with 3 people.
I guess.
There's no you guess. It's like, I'm telling you, that's how it works. You can do things with 3 people. That is, surprise, surprise, the normal amount of players you have in a campaign. I just run larger parties.
They may have fought 3 people.
I'll sub in, don't worry.
Yeah.
We have 2.5. I count as half.
Wow.
Long time since I've opened you, Safari. Fucking hate
Uh-oh.
Fucking hate Safari. Hello, Aura, my old friend. Yeah, no, Stealth, Black, when you missed it the other night. Last night, actually, I was telling fucking Bird about a horror campaign I was part of. And I don't mean genre of horror, I mean, like, it was horrible and horrifying.
I don't know, watching someone recite the words to Welcome to the Black Parade as a battle speech is horrifying.
I love how that is what you remember me for more than anything else that I have done as a DM, as a friend, as a participant in that milsim we were in together. Strictly just like, oh.
Well, there's a specific reason for that.
Mm-hmm.
Most other scenarios, I could stop you.
You couldn't stop me there, and so you were like, damn it.
No, because you were entirely given the floor to give a speech. So.
Yeah, Sean, if you want to sub in, that's something you can do.
Oh, God.
Oh, this will be interesting.
A sub? We have a subby baby coming in?
A subinator.
I guess I should get
You don't want
this
to play
shit
as
over
Rexus?
with.
That'd be rude. I mean, if you have a character in mind, I guess that'd be something that we could do.
I have something evil for you. Actually, I found online. It is either a spell you can cast or it's a curse.
Mm.
Oh, don't even know. He's already
It's
got a curse in mind
intriguing.
after the idea I gave him last night.
Not what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's called conscious breathing, where you're aware you have to breathe or you die.
That's pretty good.
So you have to focus on taking breaths in and out.
Laura
Also,
says she is.
Colton, I told you specifically that minors aren't in here specifically because this is a 18 plus stream and I don't need people who are not the correct age to be causing a ruckus. So, told you not to be here and you keep self-reporting. Bye.
Was that a student of yours?
Yeah. From like a year ago.
Mm.
And I have to go through and clear out that list because it's just. Do I desperately need a hireling? No. I do not need desperately. It was more if you were like bored, then by all means.
Do I have to? He just fucking borderline doxed your ass too by giving out your last name on a public platform.
I mean, I'm not fucking surprised. That's again the reason why I fucking threw him into the sun.
Oh, hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Oh, it's rage.
We
Holy
got a rage.
I was
The
sitting there watching
ragiest
somebody rebuild
man.
a fucking King
Thanks,
Cobra,
Ironclaw.
King
Appreciate
Cobra
it.
Mustang 2, and was like, "Oh shit, D&D starts in 4 minutes." So, my bad.
You're good, Sean. You're good. Both Seans. Both British Sean and not British Sean. You're both good.
Wow.
Thank you both for being here.
Well, just way to fucking name drop my RL name there, buddy.
Listen, we had a big old fight last week over talking between 3 different people with the same name. I had to make sure that I was recognizing what you were saying and that I appreciate you telling me and then appreciating what Sean was also telling me. So I didn't feel like I was back talking to him while talking to you, while talking to him, while talking to you.
I
Okay?
feel back talked right now.
Well,
I can make
you
it
know
even
what?
worse. Is at my previous job we had 4 Daves.
Oh, dear God. This
You
is what I...
you had Dave, you had Black Dave, Asian Dave, and Cool Dave.
Fucking what?
Yeah, that's how.
I'm a little concerned. I'm a little concerned that the Cool Dave was neither the Black nor Asian Dave.
Well, there's 4 Daves, so you got to remember him somehow. The cool part was more ironic than anything else.
Got it.
This is how the start of this session has hit me, just right in the fucking mouth. Just a slap right across it.
I mean, I don't know what you expected by this point.
You're
not
right.
Like, is anybody new here?
You're right.
It was a good all.
You know, gotta stop at a
This is
bar
coming
to
back,
get
bro.
to eat and
Mhm.
pet. Be right back. I'm gonna mute so you don't hear my car.
How dare.
Now, by stopping at a bar, did he just run into it, or that was the start of a story, and then oh shit?
The world may never know. All right, now that I've got all that stuff squared away, because that was
I'm still not
being
squared
too
away.
goofy. That's fine. My stuff was lagging in taking its sweet time opening, so
Oh, you don't have a button on your stream deck that just opens everything?
no, because I don't have a stream deck. I literally have a
You bought a
keypad.
fucking
Yeah, I bought a $15 keypad and reprogrammed the who's-it-call-it? The PCI.
that's not where I was going, but that works too. I was gonna say you bought
Hold on a moment.
an erotic asphyxiation type webcam.
No, I bought a gooseneck because I need to move it when I'm doing the other things in my office.
Yes, but you can strangle it.
I'm aware, Zig. Are you him? Is that why you're asking me if I remember who he is? Not I'm the person in my chat named Zig Snags. Just is that you?
A redhead with a bad haircut?
Uh-huh. It's more of I would like to see his response of if it's him. because
Does the
I'm really
carpet
interested.
match the drapes,
We're
though?
not crossing into that because I am sadly not Will Hodges. Well, you see, you self-reported because you've now brought forth that you know him, and I know y'all ain't up there. So, goodbye. Yep, and that is into the sun. It is. Get
What?
yeeted.
That
What was that for? Question mark?
He's below 18 and he was a student of mine and
Oh.
is a group of them that has continued to haunt me to this day.
Oh. I just want to know if it was a fire crotch, but since you said below 18, I don't think I want to know if it's a fire crotch
I was
anymore.
gonna say, Rage, this is a minor, careful.
Hey, listen, we're talking about fire crotch meaning like red hair, not like a burning sensation, Jenna. So you can back out of the conversation here.
Oh, how I have missed you.
I've missed you too.
We've all missed each other. We've all just been terribly sad without just beating the shit out of each other on a day-to-day basis.
Burn about this fucking campaign I joined over the holidays. That was a fucking dumpster fire and a half. And I left my final session or one of the sessions being like, I miss Rage. He would have told his DM where to go and how to get there.
Oh no. Oh no. It's a bad campaign if you're missing me.
Yeah, this dude was a 35-year-old incel DM. Take that as you will.
What?
Yeah.
Literally forced us to go to a glory hole in the game.
A place that he called the glory hole. You gotta put some pizzazz on that name because he was wearing his quote unquote spicy RP robe.
The spicy robe, yep. And a purple satin
Jenna,
top
get
and
louder. I will increase Jenna's volume. That way Jenna is louder.
Okay. Questions.
And you know
Answers.
those, you know how like creepy dudes will awkwardly rub like women's shoulders and like upper arms, like kind of like comforting them? Yeah, he did that to all the females in this game.
Hate.
And he accidentally sent us all a pic on Christmas of his dressed up like Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Dressed up as Santa Claus?
Uh,
Wait,
Private Johnson. No, Private Johnson was dressed as Santa Claus.
How? Okay.
35, if you were about to ask how old he is.
Can I talk? I feel like I want to talk about that, but I don't, but I do.
Well, let put a big old pin in it.
No. We're gonna. I'm gonna do this as safe as I possibly can.
Okay.
So to the gentleman in here. Okay, I know you have taken pictures of said area before, yeah?
Not me, but sure, I'll nod my head and
You
follow
never have?
along.
Never have.
No.
Never. Not once.
No.
Wow, I feel like I'm a just fucking gutter slut here now. Jesus, thanks, guys. I was just gonna say it's difficult enough to keep it at attention while taking a picture, let alone to dress it up as Santa Claus. But thanks for making me feel like I just need to be a brothel owner.
He dressed it up. No, he drew on it.
He drew on it? What?
Oh my god! The head was Santa Claus's face. If you want to know.
Oh God! Please, I'm dying. I'm dying.
Did he?
Oh,
Tell me you didn't make Santa cry.
I don't know. I didn't. Oh yeah, no.
Jesus! Talk about a white Christmas.
Yeah.
Damn it. Oh, someone gets to have the wonderful job of pinging the literal shit out of Cactus.
What kind of cactus?
A moist cactus.
Yeah.
Who would like to take first round of
Gotcha.
pinging the shit out of him?
I gotcha.
Nice one.
Nice. A
So I'm
plus.
still on the fact that this DM's literal Christmas card was, of Andrew
Yeah.
Johnson.
Yeah, it was
Snapchat,
in
he
Saint
made us all
Andrew
give him his
Johnson. Yeah.
Snapchat. Yeah, no, first session. He's like, I need all the ladies' Snapchats, please.
That was apparently the
clue number one.
yeah. Oh no, we talked about this during the art stream yesterday. There was a literal shit ton of red flags, like all over the place.
Yeah, that one was
So-
pure fucking crimson.
Yeah,
Johnson or Jackson?
Johnson.
Said Andrew.
No, it was Johnson.
It was
Johnson.
it was Private Johnson Blackburn.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, the reason I was asking is if it was Jackson, he is probably the most, I want to say lawful evil, but like,
Coming with
yeah, no, like
the history facts when it's definitely not history we're talking about.
yeah, no, he was wearing his sissy robe, shirtless
sorry.
with
You're
jeans
good.
slung low on his hips.
You're good.
Okay, so spicy robe. Now I got like Buffalo Bill in my head. So
Yeah,
thanks for that.
It
Like,
was
Yeah,
well.
no, it was a purple
He
velvet
literally
robe.
was, according to Jenna, the way she described him to me, it was feeling a lot like Buffalo Bill. Like it was, dude was definitely putting off
Jesus.
that kind of.
mm,
Yeah, it was me, four of the women, his best friend, and him.
I'm gonna need
Woo.
you to roll for persuasion.
Yeah.
I like this.
Did he like try to like make you strip by rolling or something like that? Because I mean, I feel like this is where this is going.
Nope, we left into the glory of a place. And it was a bunch of elves being fucking railed by robes.
Yeah. Cringe. 100%.
No,
The
no,
biggest
cringe.
cringe.
Disgusting. Where?
Cringe.
Blackburn, shut the fuck up. Just Blackburn. That's
Oh,
disgusting.
shit.
Where so I can avoid it? Jesus
No,
Christ,
yeah,
Blackburn.
I want to go on that ride, Daddy. Me too, son. Me too.
All right. So
If anyone can
let's.
guess that movie, I'll fucking give you a golden star.
Oh God, it's in my brain somewhere. I'll find it eventually among the mess. Anyway,
Ah,
let's have a quick breakdown of where we left our wonderful players last session before we went on hiatus.
In October.
In October, that's right.
Jesus,
So what
I
had
feel like I've
happened,
aged 10 years.
Jenna? The Dungeon Father is speaking.
Let the man cook.
Let the
I'm
man
not calling
cook.
you Daddy. Just
That's
saying.
fine. That's fine. I don't expect you to. It's more of a meme.
Uncle? Uncle, maybe?
That you know what? I'll take that. Dungeon Uncle. Sounds a little weird, but
Really?
I'll take it.
Really? Yeah, think about it again.
Yeah, I know. It was like,
Yeah. You said it like, no, never mind.
yeah. Oh, can I roll back the
Quickest
tapes on that
walking
one?
Fucking backpedal I've ever heard.
Ooh,
That's the dunkle. It's the dunkle.
that's worse. I'd rather just be called
That
the
is
fun
totally
uncle. Oh God, no! Don't put it in
Anyways,
chat.
where we left off.
Anyway, so back in October, you guys had just gone through Westminster. You had secured the harbor in your efforts to make sure that both the town and the people were safe. What had finalized in its actions is that when you had gone to Westminster, you had stepped into a world that seemed to be very reinforced with military hardware. You snuck in, Jenna taking the shape of a mouse and sitting in the pocket of Okros, the resident barbarian lion folk. Once getting inside, you all kind of split up in different directions, looking for things or otherwise. The only person who really seemed to blend in, of course, was our dear changeling, Mr. Nez, who snuck himself into amongst the guards of the city of Westminster, took upon the face of it, was paid a few gold coins, and was given a very large chicken leg from a dire chicken, where he sat down and ate while the rest of you kind of scouted and searched things out. And Jenna, in her mouse form, yes.
Excuse me, it was a turkey leg.
Oh, I'm
because
sorry.
I
It was a
wanted to
dire
find the
turkey.
And I wanted to
Yes,
fuck the fear turkey, remember?
that's right.
I'm
Thank
glad
you.
I didn't hear that the first time around.
So,
Oh, Cactus heard it. It was great.
so as the rest of you scouted, Nez ate a large dire turkey leg, and Jenna, of course, found herself in the main, castle citadel of the city. She came across some information. She found herself following the notes and maps you had taken from the courier to her command room, where she saw the commander speaking in desperation to a person who that she recognized as Ares, who seemed both distraught but also disconcerted as he began talking about how he was sending someone to fix the problem. They just had to keep the heroes there. At the name of this person coming to visit Westminster, it seemed that the commander had gone white in the face and seemed that there was no recollection for him to do anything. As Jenna continued sneaking around as a mouse trying to keep herself hidden, that's when she began to hear the screams. And that is when the plague doctor was introduced. A large hulking figure who broke into the office, killed the commander, and almost spotted the Jenna mouse who was hiding in the corner. She then made a run for it, making it outside and making it back to the streets. You all then fought the plague doctor, were able to push him back. Jenna was able to save Rexus's life. Okros was able to save Okros's life. You then left Westminster to only come back after a few hours to recuperate yourselves, to figure out a plan, and then tackle it. The plan you had going in was to have Nameless and Nez do a little bit of theatrics, where the great idea was spawned by the ranger, Nameless, who said, we're dealing with this really shitty person known as the Blight Piper. Why don't we make him the villain once again? Nez, shifting into the form of the Blight Piper, went into the town, started making mockery of himself, was surrounded by guards, and was, quote-unquote, killing them off by help of the ranger in the shadows. Afterwards, after he made a fool of himself to bring enough attention, Nameless then stepped in as the conquering hero, killing the Blight Piper and securing his friend Nez in the process to establish some kind of rapport with the people around him. One thing that you all noticed as you were in the town and dealing with the situation at hand was the fact that the civilians were being moved very quickly to the docks towards large ships that are being ready to leave port. You tried to stop as much as you could, trying to keep more of the civilians on this side. Ones that were walking away, you were securing and helping. But you saw that a majority of them were staying put in the center of town. But an old salty veteran pointed out to you that there was one door in the citadel they could not open. Once you had dealt with the soldiers and you had pushed them back and you were now left the civilians of the world that you stay in, you were then looking at what exactly was behind this door. The veteran had told you that the door electrocuted anyone who touched it. And so Nez, out of his pocket, pulled forth a wool sock, believing it to be the best form of action to insulate the barbarian Okros from bashing in the door with his warhammer. After a few solid strikes, you, the party, found yourself in front of 4 evocation wizards and a red mage, as a star seemed to begin to fall out of the sky. After a well-fought battle and a hard one at that, you were able to push these mages back, knock them down, break their concentration, and stop the meteor from crashing into the town itself, saving the lives of everyone around you. As that meteor began to fall, you saw it fell out of the sky like a lead weight, but a shard of it broke off and continued flying across the horizon, the rumble of its impact being felt beneath your feet all the way in Westminster. But the majority of it falling into the ocean and unfortunately crashing into the ships that were leaving. An unfortunate circumstance to say the least, but the town was saved and was now under your control. The civilians that walk wearing the yellow armbands representing the warband that you're a part of. You now realize that you have secured all of the major cities except for one. You have but one objective left to do, and you find yourself back in eternal watch within New Haven, readying yourselves for the trip to Glacier Keep.
I want to point out it was my idea for the Blind Piper. Thank you very much.
Listen, it's been a few months.
I was gonna say, I want to point out my name is Aura.
Get up top.
I love how like it was your idea, and then your character was just like, "Why'd you do that?"
Yeah, you were like the Jenna mouse. Jenna was in the pod. And I'm like, Jenna didn't know such thing.
I mean, that'd be pretty sick if you could turn into a mouse, though.
It would be pretty sick.
All right. So, Glacier Keep.
Jenna, that was a lot of pings. I know I asked you
Jeez.
to do some pings, but like, damn.
No, see, that's the trick.
I don't
Whoever
do
you're
anything
pinging,
that
if you're
fast.
not paying attention, you ping until you get bored.
That's fair, I guess.
Go.
Fair
Exactly.
enough.
Guess a roll. If we're getting ready to go to Glacier Keep, obviously, freaking bundle up. Create to get some thicker robes. Run into this
I don't
armor.
get cold.
And he's also gonna wrap it.
Someone in your chat would like to know if you reply.
I already replied to them. I saw
In chat.
in chat. Their account was
yeah.
made 5 minutes ago. So, anywhoozle. So, yeah. If you guys want to quote unquote prepare yourselves for the winter times that have befallen Glacier Keep, probably be a smart thing. But since you guys are in New Haven, there's plenty of supplies for you to look for, plenty of things for you to buy and essentially pull together to make sure that you have it in place.
I don't get cold, motherfuckers.
Listen, you're a sea elf, not an Arctic elf. You do get cold. You're made of water. You will freeze.
I was gonna say you're gonna freeze.
It says I don't get cold.
Does it
Don't
say
worry.
you don't get cold or you have resistance against
Mother
cold
Nature's
damage?
gonna vibe check you really hard.
Resistance to the cold.
Oh, yeah. So that means that
Uh-huh.
you have half damage against, cold damage, but that doesn't mean you don't get cold. You can still be killed by it.
Puffer jacket. Does New Haven carry puffers?
You know what? You could look for it if you really want.
I wish I could have seen your face when I said that. I really do.
Nah, you could hear it. That's all that matters.
I'm not gonna have to do any searching because all Creed wants is scraps of fabric to wrap his armor. Things that you can't really do anything with.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's easy enough to find scraps. There's been plenty of different things that have been used in the fact of setting up New Haven. And then I see a Zendif has joined us once again for another fun night. Very good.
Fine. Aura will search for a jacket of some sort, specifically a puffer, but she won't complain about a regular one. What am I rolling?
Nothing. You'll find one eventually. It's not going to be the greatest. It's going to be a little too big. But it will keep you warm.
To complete a dwarfer.
All right, well, let's let the dice decide, shall we?
I want this to be something like a frost giant is supposed to wear.
All right. Let's see. High, low. Jenna, call it.
Hi.
Ooh. Almost the lowest result you could possibly get.
Fucking one.
A 1 on a D100. That is impressive. I have seen a handful of those over my lifetime. That is wow. So yeah, they have one for you, but it definitely was worn by a Goliath many years ago that they've been able to refill with Goose Down. it will be very large on you. It'll cover you from basically the middle of your ear and then all the way down over your feet. Like there will be nothing showing minus like the top of your head from the tip of your nose up.
I would like to take it, tie the end, and cut 2 holes for my legs, so I have a train that follows me, but my feet are still.
You just
You're
have a giant
you're
onesie.
literally in a cylinder of a jacket.
I just heard that
Like-
she wants to train right on there. That's all I heard.
Oh,
Out
my
of
God,
context
don't say
D&D memes. But no, Jenna, it's like you're essentially in a cylinder of a puff jacket.
I know, and I'm cutting a hole in the front of it for my legs to walk. And
What do you
then
mean
I will have
cutting you walk normally in the cylinder. It's
Oh,
just
I thought you were saying it's too long for me.
no, it's literally a cylinder where it covers the top of your feet to the tip of your nose. Like your entire part minus the top of your head is covered by this massive puff jacket.
So I'm literally basically wrapped up like an infant would be.
It's
You look like
It is
Cousin
a
It,
ch-
but it's
yes.
a puff jacket.
yeah, you look like Cousin It in a puff jacket. Like that's
Who?
from the Addams Family.
Oh.
Look, really?
Old.
Did she just say who?
I've never seen the Addams Family. I know the movie and I know who they are. I've never seen it.
DM, I would like to suggest something here. I think your character just needs to be killed off at this point.
Just
You know
just
what?
nuke her from orbit. Just-
Yes. Do you like
All
the
right.
sun, Jenna?
let me do this.
By the way, did my voice changer to change?
No, it's
right?
on.
Yeah.
It's on.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
cool.
on.
So here, Jenna, if you look at the screen,
Oh.
this is Cousin It.
Oh.
That hurts my heart. I'm not gonna lie.
That's Cousin It. That's who we're talking
I
about.
look
Essentially,
like a
you
fucking duster.
no, listen, Jenna. Listen to my words. So you think of a regular puff jacket, okay?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But it's a very bigger than you puff jacket. You can still walk in it. You can still fight in it. You can still move your arms in it. But no, you don't need to cut legs in it.
Fine. No legs. Cut.
And so, as a side note, real quickly, talking to you, Plux, I don't know where you've come from. I don't know what you're doing here. Your account was made less than 10 minutes ago. No, you will not become a mod in the channel because I don't think I know you.
Where'd you come from? Where'd you
I will
go?
at least give the person half credit for being bold.
Yes, I will respect the enthusiasm, but I have no idea who you are and you've been here like 10 minutes.
Just wants to hit the ground running.
I mean, again, I appreciate the enthusiasm, but it's like I'm not just gonna make a random person a mod. One, not that big of a channel. Two, all of my curators are people I've known for like at least 9 years. Blackburn, Cactus, Fishy,
Right.
Carson, Rage. Well, the mods on the channel, not only I guess the mods on the channel are the same as the mods in Discord because I have it linked. So yeah, which I haven't known Rage for super long, but
Or myself.
I'm a nice.
I should point out. I hope you've
Nah.
you've known Carson for a while.
well, it was
I mean,
more
I
of
like
me
that
going
too.
through my mental list.
I met her tomorrow, but married her yesterday.
Exactly.
Okay. Plus,
So,
I'm a
it's-
nice lady, and he wouldn't make me a mod. It's okay. I get it.
Wait, what?
So I lost it. I'm done. I can't do this anymore.
So
I
yeah,
need another drink.
Plux, it's one of those things, man, where I really don't care if you're a nice person. If you're a mod in my channel, it means that one, I trust you and know you. Secondly, no, because I don't need more. And you know, I'm you're just gonna get time down. Just go to sleep.
You know, a lot of people said Chancellor Palpatine was a nice guy. Look how that ended up for him. You know.
Yep, and he's gonna go to sleep for 10 minutes. So if he
Oh.
comes back and asks again, he's gonna get banhammered. And I need to make a sound for
Sunshine!
banhammering. There we go. There's my sound bite.
There is something I want to try and
Wonderful.
find. Happily roll for it. Assuming
Okay.
Indiana still. I want to
Jesus
try and find
fuck.
goggles.
You want goggles?
Yes.
I'm
You heard the
still
man.
at the point where he said he trusted me, and I'm wondering where did I go wrong?
What did I do?
It's all downhill from here.
Fuck.
Yeah, you've become the trusted one.
I mean, Sean, I'll definitely take the bonk noise. That'd be pretty wonderbar.
What bonk noise?
The one that he uses for
The one that goes
when we
bonk.
have to bonk people, you know.
Bonk.
Bonk.
Creed would like to try and find goggles and not like I say steampunk style. Actually, like one piece, like modern. I guess snowboarding goggles is the best way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
I mean,
fucking
that'd
Christ.
be.
40 Sorry, I'm meant to be muted. I apologize.
I mean, that'd be easy enough for you to find, honestly.
Right.
Just to find essentially some kind of, I imagine like goggles that you could utilize. They probably wouldn't be the same type of goggles you would see.
Some kind of eye protection. Something
Yeah.
to protect visibility when snow is blowing.
Hey, no, we don't chew on tables. Chevy, stop it.
Where did my voice go? Why did it stop? Sit back. All right, there it is. Oh, Lord have mercy. Mercy. Sweet mercy.
You know what'd be really cool? If I
What?
was on the right character.
Yeah, that'd be
Maybe.
kind of important, you know. Just
Are
just
you
a
on your
smidge.
one
little.
from? Are
Just
you
a
on from
little.
your last week one?
Right.
Mm.
See what else?
Here's a fun one I could use. I like
Yep.
that one.
Bonk.
I'm gonna add
Something
that one.
else. He's gonna try to get his hands on, and he's gonna try and get his hand on a lot more tinder for fires, as well as flints. He's gonna try and get it as sealed up as tight as possible.
Yeah, no, solid. 100% solid.
I think. Mm. You know what? I want to. This is. I'm trying to think of stuff that's useful, but could he find a scarf with
Yeah, I mean,
the symbol of Ravenholm on it?
Okay.
that one probably a little harder to find. But because of the fact that the symbol itself would have to be either stitched on or it'd have to be a brooch. But definitely something plausible.
I'm willing to roll for it.
All right. Call high low.
Hi.
Just barely.
Motherfucker, the dice hate you. Or me.
He literally got a 59. He was 8 points away from getting a nope.
Nice.
I mean,
No.
So
she was 54 points away from
yeah,
even
basically.
getting remotely anything. So
Yeah.
That's why I said the
Mm.
dice hates me.
I mean, she could have gone to 0 and then everything could
Well,
have gone wrong.
her first roll in this campaign was a nat 1. We come back
Yeah.
and it's
Listen,
nat 1.
you're not wrong.
So
Yeah.
just
Fair
Sweet.
enough. Yeah, so you're easily able to
Indeed.
find basically a pretty straightforward scarf that has the built-in piece to make it look like it has symbol Ravenholm on it. It's a very basically stitched scarf. It's not anything super crazy or intricate, but it will keep you warm, which is, you know, the idea of it.
Hmm.
So anything
Feel
else
up, get
anyone
you
wants
warm?
to look on or look for? What keeps me warm? Rage.
Whiskey.
That is true.
Man,
is
I
true.
wish I could drink right now.
I thought
I'll drink
about
for
it.
both of us.
And drink for
That's
me
so
too.
terrifying.
Really sit in the parking lot
Terrifying.
of my work. So
I
Dude,
played
if I got a
drunk
drink for
before.
3
What do you
people, I'm gonna
mean?
get fucking shit faced. I
do it.
might go to the hospital. Especially if I drink for you, Nez.
Oh, I thought you were saying me drinking is terrifying. I'm like, I've been drinking before while playing.
Uh-huh.
And it was still terrifying.
Uh-huh.
It was fucking funny.
I don't want to relive the nightmare. Thank you.
All right.
Somebody
So-
break bread?
I wanted to look for a jacket.
Yeah, easy enough. I mean, like, Nez, the shape and form of your character isn't that much of a like normal humanoid, so that's relatively easy to find in like the standard issue provisions or along the artisan shops.
Uh, because I'm a heartless monster, what I think would be really funny
Oh, God.
is if he went over to Aura. He's like, "Can I see that coat?" And he just like shrunk down to his size. But as soon as she picks it back up, it gets massive again.
Oh no. Oh no.
He's like, you know what? I'm not liking this material. Here you go. It just goes back to being the size of a blanket.
That would be
Oh, no.
awfully rude.
That would be, you know, that'd be hilarious. Don't you lie to me.
It would be glorious.
I don't know what you're speaking of.
My apologies. That came to mind. I felt like I had to share that because that was just
Fucking got me. That was nice.
Not even an hour in, and we're already picking on Aura.
Listen,
Oh,
that was funny.
Don't worry. Emotional trauma is coming for Creed sooner or later. I know
Yeah,
how this works.
can't you see on Blackburn's avatar it says emotional trauma team on it?
It does.
God.
And we're going back up to where it's trauma.
Yeah.
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 So, I would just go ahead and say that if you guys find the winter gear and such that you require, if you want to look for anything specific, such as weapons, armaments, ammunitions, anything that is out of the standard issue kit, I guess, for the adventurers that are working through here,
I want
that
a
is something
shovel.
we'll have to roll on. You want to find a shovel?
I want a shovel.
Like a weapon shovel, or like I just want to have a shovel in my bag?
I just want a shovel.
Okay, do you want like a large shovel you use for gardening, or do you want like an e-tool? Like a small folding shovel?
I want like garden spade, like the things you would use to bury a body.
Okay.
D-
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. I mean,
um,
like, that's pretty standard to find. It's a fucking garden tool. So yeah, you have a garden spade now?
Is it big?
No,
I want
it's
it
a
to
normal
like
spade size.
no.
Like, what did
You
you
know
want
what?
me to respond with that? Like, I don't.
She does bring up a valid idea, actually. I want a. I'm not sure if you'll get the reference. I want a Vietnam era e-tool. Is that something possible I could
Yeah.
find where it's like wood handle and
Yeah. Like a Spetsnaz shovel, basically. Long wooden handle, straight edge. Standard mixed standard. Yeah, easy.
perfect?
I send you picture of shovel I want.
Is it a spade that you would buy at Home Depot? Or from the equivalent hardware store in wherever you live?
Well, actually, it's called a Gnome Depot.
Listen, I was going to save that pun for later because I have a bunch of their stuff saved that I'm going to be using. So listen.
I
It's-
want
I've
this
heard their
shovel.
competitor Gnome Hardware.
I want a shovel
And-
like that.
and Chaotic Goodwill.
I want a
And of
big
course,
shovel, like
Etheria's
that.
massive chain store, Castle Despot.
I would like to find this.
Jenna, that is a standard ass garden spade. I just
Yeah,
told
you
you
made it
get
sound
it.
like you made it sound like you have the little handheld fucking thing.
No, you have a standard garden spade. A standard garden spade is 4 foot tall with a 1.5
Okay.
foot blade.
Yes, and I will drag it behind me
the
as I walk.
The thing you were thinking of is called a garden trowel, Jenna.
Yeah, a garden trowel is the small
Oh.
handheld one, and then an entrenching tool is a folding shovel used by soldiers. So
Yes,
it's
you want a
about 3
truck?
foot.
I want that one, and I will have that one, and I will drag it
Barnes
behind
and
me.
Noble. Ah, I hate that, Sean, but it's beautiful. I'm gonna keep the one in my pocket.
Uh,
Yeah,
I want
so
that.
yeah. So Creed
No,
wanted
when I put it in
a
your chat.
e-tool. Yeah. Barnes and God.
so
No, Sean, you're too. What are you doing? So Creed wanted e-tool. Jenna wanted a garden spade. You all have your winter gear. Was there anything else specific you guys wanted to look for?
Yeah, when I put it in your chat.
Oh, God, you and the other Sean's name are the same color, and I missed you completely for some reason. My brain completely
Mine has
skipped
the
over
green
it.
sword.
Yeah, listen. I saw blue letters and was like, "Why does Sean have blue letters?" And it was like, "Oh wait, no, it's brain
They're
go
different
Bert."
shades. They're different shades.
I'm aware they're different shades. It doesn't mean my brain didn't skip over completely because I'm thinking about other things.
I
Oh
was
my
like something
God.
else. It was Bert.
And brain go
I know.
Bert.
There's
You want
something
an
else I need to
anti-tank
find.
rifle?
Maybe.
You
I
want a
can't get my
Panzer Bush?
Like,
You want a Panzer Bush?
yes.
Nine Dre?
Yes.
930?
There
Nee,
you go.
nine.
Yeah.
Niet. No,
Yeah. Yeah.
no, fuck off.
Hi. Fick dich, Schnapper. Du bist ein Scheißkopf.
Stuck in Scheiße. Ficken off.
Yeah, fick
Why
dich.
are you angry? What? Why are you arguing with a small, angry German child?
Because he wants an anti-tank rifle.
99 Signusballons. Calm down.
All right, I got my joke out. No, you cannot have the anti-tank rifle.
Oh God, what did I want
Why?
now?
All right, I just sent you
You
a
couldn't
message.
have asked for something simple like a shovel.
It's simple. You pull the trigger, it goes boom. It's simple.
Blackburn, I might even have you roll for that. I will roll in the percentage on how severe will be.
Okay,
All right.
good.
So you're gonna see the percentage dice roll. The higher, the more severe.
Oh,
All right. It's like mid tier.
oh.
So like,
oh,
it's not gonna
not
win any
bad.
blue ribbons, but like, it's still like, yeah.
that's good. I
right, very
want
good.
it to be, I want it to be pretty rough because when it gets cold, it's going to be a gift. It is rude to refuse gifts, and he's going to be fucking cold.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Nez, I know you wanted jacket and stuff like that. Any specific weapons you can think of or gear that have been useful to you that you would like to get your hands on? Or do you want to go into the quote unquote magical item grab bag?
Magical item grab bag.
That sounds sketchy.
It sounds sketchy but fun at the same time.
That it is.
You know what? Let's go for that. Since I can't remember what I wanted because
right.
of all the laughing.
Also, why do you have to Google shit? Like, really? You could just be like, yeah, you can have that.
Well, it was more
Yeah.
of I wanted to make sure it was what I was thinking it was. Because I recognized the name, but I was like, is that what I think it is? And it pulled up and I was like, I see where he's going. The answer is nay.
Dude, I didn't even go with like the worst one, man. That's like a 7.9 millimeter. Like I could have went all the way up to 20 mil, bro. Like, come on.
Your rifle is big, dude. Your rifle is bigger than a 7.9 currently. You're running a pretty heavy hitting bear hunting rifle as a small tabaxi person.
But is it 7.92 by 94?
No, technically it's not, but it's something you can definitely get your hands on after the current situation is resolved.
Okay.
Remember, they're not just gonna have those kinds of rifles laying around.
I beg to differ. I'm pretty sure there's a little like
There was
hot
one
motherfucker that has one.
Yeah, there's the hoppy motherfucker. Yes, has one. But that's because he's earned his. And
Thumper, that was his name.
yes, Thumper. The wizard from the Bronx, who's also a rabbit folk.
I also have no idea what his real name is. I just called him Thumper so much. That's his name now.
Is Azrael was his actual name. But
Azrael.
past
Yeah, I'm
that,
not gonna remember that. Totally going to Thumper. Just right
he
back
knows. He's aware. So,
Okay.
Nez, the magical item grab bag is essentially lost and found, so to speak. Random items and such that have been lost or have been created, or just random ideas that were put to the side during the engineering process in New Haven. You go up to the group of artificers that are working on armaments, armor, weapons, supplies, etc. And they have essentially a large box of just random shit that they give away. Some of them may be prize winners. Some of them are kind of goofy. Some may be cursed. Some may not be cursed. Who's to say? What you pull out is a large, and I say large as an ostrich-sized egg that doesn't really seem to crack on the surface, as when the artificers looks at you and goes, I wouldn't eat that. We don't know what's in it. Just don't eat it. What you have there is an incredible, inedible egg.
It makes me want to eat it.
I
No.
literally just said I want to eat it.
he just looks at you with wide eyes and goes, if you do, please don't eat it here. Go somewhere else. Go away from me.
All right,
I'm just
thanks
amazed
for
at
the
how
egg.
he pull. I'm amazed how he pulls out and still gets an egg.
Goddamn. So anyone else want to looks for something fucking interesting or good? Rexus/Okros. Anything specific you wanted to look for, or did you also want to rifle through the magical grab bag?
Oh, I can't think of anything specific, so yeah, I guess.
The grab bag it is. Let's see what rolls up for Okros. 60. Oh, almost the funny number. Oh, that would have been good. Almost the funny number.
Totally want to know what it would have been if it was the funny number now.
Same.
He says same like he doesn't already fucking know.
I have to go through my list, Rage. I don't know exactly what it is. I have it all categorized.
67 is hilarious. God damn it.
60. God bless. So you reach into the grab bag. Oh, gross. As again, you see the same artificers at the table that Nez saw as well. And as you reach your hand in and pull something out, it seems to be heavy. It seems to have two large metal rings on it, and seems to be looks to be a solid metal cylinder attached to said rings. Once you pull it up out of the box, it seems to kind of float on its own and just kind of follow you around. One of the artificers looks over at you and goes, "Ah, yes, you found the open door policy." Wait, did I just kill somebody with my puns? Oh no, Jenna just
That's
disconnected. Okay.
I was gonna say, the open door policy was a bit too literal. I think she fell out.
Yeah.
He didn't say it was open door on a fucking plane. Bitch just goes, wee! I have that in my head now and I'm happy.
But yeah, so you found this what seems to be semi-sentient battering ram known as open door policy. It has 30 feet of movement. It has a strength of 20. It obeys instructions and hand gestures.
All right.
Yeah. And then so Jenna got her spade. Creed got his E-tool. Rage. We're gonna roll something real quick. We're gonna let chance decide what happens next with you, because I want to make sure everyone has something good walking into this next bit.
That is totally fine. I'm up for that.
So we're gonna roll a little thingy here. Ew. So you stand around and you're kind of looking at everyone who's either getting gear, getting winter clothing, supplies, etc., pulling things out of the magical grab bag, looking what's useful. And next to the artificers, leaning up against the wall, you see this just what looks to be a large flagpole at first glance.
My internet gave out. I'm back.
You're good. Upon closer inspection, it is not a flagpole. It is what looks to be a multitude long barrel of something. And as you look towards the ground that it's kind of sat an angle against the wall on, you see that it has a relatively simple breech and bolt at the bottom, and the barrel itself is about 5 feet. And on the muzzle itself seems to have the almost jaws of an alligator. Or, in this case, a crocodile. And the artificer turns and looks and he goes, "Ah, Nameless. You seem interested in that prototype."
What does it do? I need to know what it does. What does it do?
So it's a relatively new weapon system we're trying to develop for our sniper teams to deal with the larger threats to the north. As you know, as you've witnessed, the trolls seem to be unfreezing themselves from the permafrost. That, of course, makes them relatively hard to put down. So we've made this rifle called the Sparix Crocodile. It fires a custom-made round that we build here in Ravenholm. Unfortunately, it means that you only get a handful of rounds and that you can only shoot it prone. The last person we had try to shoot it standing up, well, he's still in the infirmary. It did not like him. But it is a rifle with absurd range, absurd stopping power, and some pretty good damage behind it if you hit the target with the right ammunition. But definitely harder to keep supplied as of we have to make these. Essentially, like I said, custom due to the enemy you're facing, because they have to be custom trimmed.
I'll take 2.
Well, we only got the 2 at the moment, so I can give you one of them, and you can give me some notes on how it works. Anything improvement and such in the field. We need some field testing.
Yeah, I will definitely test it for you.
All right. Well, we only got 3 standard full metal jacket rounds currently, and he pulls these rounds out of a canvas bag he has sitting on his desk, and these rounds are massive. The bullet itself looks to be close to 16, 17 millimeter. It's this itself, you could bash someone to unconsciousness with just the bullet and the casing together by itself. And he hands you 3 of them, which all seem extremely dense. These are standard full metal jacket. They'll do the job. They're just strictly custom made to fit the breech. They're a little bit odd in the caliber side, but very high velocity, very high stopping power. He goes, "I have 2 other custom ones I'm going to give you. We only have 1 shot of each. So you're going to have to know when to use them. And then when you use them, make sure you write down how they work so we can either tweak it or get you more if they work well." And he hands you another one of relatively the same size and weight. This one, the nose of it is not covered by the metal jacket. It seems to have been either peeled back or cut back. So about the last half an inch is the exposed lead underneath. And in that lead, you see that there is 4 or 2 lines cutting across on top of it to separate those lead pieces. The other one he gives you has what looks to be a red and black band on the base of the bullet. And he goes, this first one is something we want to test on the trolls. It's a design we mimicked from the hunting rifles from those of the South when dealing with some of the monsters. They cut the jacket off the tip of the bullet and turns it into a hollow point without being a hollow point. On the other hand, this other one we gave you is extremely volatile, and we're scared to shoot it. So if you could shoot it for us and figure out how it works for you, would be great. But just like I said, the weapon is a prototype. We're not entirely sure if it's going to stick together, but whatever you come back with notes-wise, would be useful for us to make better designs and hopefully get you a new variant that maybe won't explode in your face when you use it. He smiles sheepishly at you. Yeah, I'm going to let you process all that information really quickly. So as you are all prepping and rage is... the answer is yes. Specifically, that last round that he gave you has never been fired before, and he wants you to test it for him. He goes, oh, one last thing before you go. We do have some standard rounds for your rifle we think you'd enjoy. It came to us in a thought due to the tracking nature of your team or teams like you that are out in the field. We were able to make rounds for your hunting rifle that have a liquid center, essentially, that will cause the target, so to speak, to bleed a bright green luminescent color from the wound you create, which can be easily tracked in darkness, in the snow, in heavy woodlands, and otherwise. We call them tracker keepers. We got 4 of them for you, so you can use them as you see fit. These have been tested, and they're for your standard rifle, so a little bit easier to utilize. But much like the other prototypes we gave you, please let us know if anything goes wrong, and we'll either make you new ones or we'll make better ones.
Tracker keepers, really?
Yep.
Do I get stickers to put on them too?
If you want.
Dope. Sign me up for 3 cases.
We only got the 4 rounds right now because we're spreading them out amongst the rest of the marksman teams that are out in the field. But we will always give you more if you stop back.
So you just want me to walk out the doors and walk back in and give me some more?
Yeah, it's if you fire any on your trip, if you come back, we'll top you back off to 4 rounds.
Okay, give me 5 seconds. I'll be right back.
So you step out of the artificer shop. Don't tell me you just fire those rounds into the distance real quick, do you?
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
So you're in the middle of the town in front of the weapon shop, and you just load these 4 into your rifle that they just told you are custom-made tracker rounds, and you just dump them downrange at a target.
In neuron activation mode, apparently.
Yeah.
Everybody here already knows what I'm about. Just saying.
Well, you send those rounds downrange, and the target you were shooting was a tree. Just for the sake of safety that I would hope Nameless would take. And you see the 4 holes that are put into the tree all seem to ooze this green, very bright green, easy to see even from your distance, liquid.
All right, so I walk back in and go, so I made my own Christmas tree. I need more rounds.
The guy looks at you and goes, well, you shot them rather quickly. Did they work well at least, or are you just coming back in for more?
No. So I shot it at the tree right outside the building, so you can go examine for yourself if you would like to, and test it if you need to. There's a method to my madness. But yes, they worked well.
You see his hand slowly grasp his brow as it furrows, and he goes, here's 4 more. Thank you. Do you have questions about the crocodile rifle that I just gave you? That is almost twice your height.
No, I think I'm just gonna send those. Well, we'll see what happens.
Very good. We'll see you when you get back, Nameless.
Maybe if these rounds work.
He goes, they'll work. I'm not sure if the recoil will play nice, but they'll work, I hope, as he walks away very quickly to the back of the shop. And so, yeah, you now have the crocodile rifle with 5 shots in total, 3 standard, 1 soft point, and then 1 mystery round. And you'll basically be, because it will not be a weapon you are proficient with currently, because this is a prototype firearm that you're utilizing, it would be to hit would just be your normal dex. So it would be just a +4 instead of a +8.
Okay. I gotta make this custom, yeah.
I'll make it later, but just keep it in mind when you go to use it.
Okay.
It's the same way you use your normal rifle, but you don't know the damage profiles, and you don't really know how you're going to swing this thing around. But it's here. You got it.
I like it.
But yeah, so you guys feel like you're pretty well armed. Basic medical supplies are filled. Rations are filled. Water skins and such are filled. You guys have winter clothing, your e-tool, your spade, and your random magical things that you have found. And you feel really good to go to the keep, to go find out what's going on with it. And so you set out. Making sure that everything is ready and to go, you set a course, taking a carriage northbound past Keeper's Tomb towards the keep. As you're leaving the borders of New Haven, one of the guards on the edge asks you, he goes, "Oi, are you off to Glacier Keep?"
Yeah, we're off to Glacier Keep. Thought someone else was going to say something.
Yeah, it was just the silence was deafening.
I forgot I was muted.
I was thinking. I know I do that sometimes.
You were thinking?
I know.
Uh-oh.
My God. So this tall, stout orc looks at you and goes, "Oi," asks if you're going to Glacier Keep. You respond with yes. He goes, "On your way up there, keep your eyes open for a settlement just south of it. We had a runner come down that they established this up there. Something fucky's going on in Glacier Keep. You should keep your eyes out for, yeah?"
Yep, there's something going on, that's for sure.
Well, I'm not sure if you saw it. There was a meteor struck the lighthouse on the eastern side of Glacier Keep.
It's stirred up something. It's definitely been a interesting situation they found themselves up there. So it's meet up with them, see what they say before you head inside. You don't want to be caught without understanding what you're walking into.
Yeah.
Thanks for the news.
Hey, good to know.
It was, yep. By safe travels, and he just kind of waves you off. And you start continuing northbound. It's a few hours in the carriage, nothing too extraneous. And you start to see the settlement come into view. It's relatively well set up. Has timber walls made out of large logs, spiked barricades pointing outward around it, watchtowers in different corners, guard patrols outside, as well as foxholes being dug. It seems very well defended and manned for a quote unquote settlement / outpost. The other thing you see as you approach, as the horizon begins to cut, as your elevation matches that of where Glacier Keep sits, you see that the horizon you normally would see, the silhouette of the ruined city, the fog on the horizon coming off of the ocean, the sky lighting up your way, is replaced by a massive wall of shimmering light that seems to surround the entirety of Glacier Keep.
Can I touch it?
You're still
I
like,
do
you
not
know,
think
half
that's
a
a good idea.
you're like half a kilometer from it still, but I mean, wait till you get up to it? Question mark.
Yeah, I didn't say now. I just said I want to touch it. I didn't know if touching it was an option.
But as you load off at the outpost, the gates opening to the carriage as you're brought inside, you said even inside this outpost, there's significantly more people than you thought was going to be here based on the description. You see, well, Creed would at least recognize a few of the individuals here are part of Leandros's retinue. These are some high-ranking individuals that have found themselves at this outpost, along with their own commanders and specialists in different fields that have been brought back together after the Godfall. And so the carriage stops in front of the largest tent in the center as you're waved in by one of these, essentially, War Masters Chosen, much that akin of Creed. As you all step down on the carriage and find your way moving inside.
I have to go AFK for a second. I have to take my dog out.
Okay.
But I'll be here. I'm still listening because it's on my phone, but yeah,
Yep.
I won't be at my laptop.
So, as you all enter the tent, opening the flap slightly as you step inside, you see that there are large tables inside this tent, all with multiple people, all finding their way, talking, bringing papers, books, drawing out maps, pointing at different graphs and paperwork that have kind of been put together. And you see that there are a lot of higher ranking people here and a lot of people that look like they know what they're talking about. Old grizzled wizards, sorcerers, artificers. You have blacksmiths and leathersmiths. You have weaponsmiths and military individuals, generals and captains, all posted up around these tables, talking to each other about something. And they all see you enter through the flap of the tent. And one of them waves you over. That you just hear a small voice from the back going, "Creed, over here." As you all turn to see a halfling in the same bright yellow and blue robe that Creed wears, with different markings for his ranks, but seems to be still among the higher of the echelons.
As you can see,
Creed, glad to see you here. I imagine your team is here to tackle the Glacier Keep situation, yes?
indeed we are.
All right. So, unfortunately, it's going to be slightly more difficult than what we thought. We had set up a bunch of procedures in place to rebuild the city, and we would essentially have you guys here to help us clear it, which was the original plan of intent. But then that meteor struck a couple days ago, and ever since then, everything's been topsy-turvy. We're not sure what exactly is going on in there. We've sent in teams, and they said they were gone for months. And when they came back out, it had been a day, maybe even hours. And they seem like they've seen nightmares, something terrifying that exists within this bubble. And we don't know what's causing it. We're not sure if it's part of that meteor, if it's some kind of magical, like, instability, if it's some kind of arcane well that has been cracked. We just don't know. But if your team's going in, I hope you're prepared. We can try and brief you on what we've seen, on what we know, but unfortunately, most of it is zilch.
Well, everything starts from simple seed, so just tell us what you know.
So what we essentially know at this point in time is that this bubble seems to cause issues with time. Essentially, those outside of it don't feel the same as those inside of it. The wall itself is not impermeable. You can walk through it, but finding your way back to it, according to the team, is difficult. The teams we've sent in. From what they've explained to us of the flora and fauna inside, is that we had originally believed that most of what was up here was deceased, no longer existing. That was equivalently false. Apparently, there is a large number of hostile flora and fauna inside this bubble that has began attacking the teams once they got too close. It seems they were either territorial or if they were just standardly aggressive. The descriptions, though, are what made it interesting. The descriptions they gave us of the creatures that they saw were nothing that we have on this side of the bubble. They seem to be hybrids, mixtures, but we put that forward as stress-induced hallucinations and just kind of left it at that. As the team was coming back, they were struggling to keep their sanity intact. So we're not entirely sure what you may run into, but whatever is not going to be pretty.
Well, this sounds wonderful.
Sounds like a good time.
Well, I'm hoping for the best that it's not going to be anything too difficult for all of you to deal with. The biggest problem I see is that once you're inside, we won't be able to assist you until this field, this bubble, whatever it is removed, or until you exit the dome and come back to us in one piece.
Craig's gonna nod his head. Have any parties not returned?
The latest few have not, or at least have not returned in full strength. They've lost a few members inside. So we know at least that if you do go in, there will be emergency provisions and gear that you could utilize if necessary. But on that, we're not entirely sure what you're going to be walking into. We're not sure how lethal or how dangerous the company you will find will be.
Those they lost. I hesitate to use the specific wording, but it comes to mind. How vital were they? Were they leadership, or were they primarily just soldiers?
It seemed to be, depending on the team, it was a mixture of either. We had one team who came back who lost their squad lead and then lost one of their troopers. We had one that lost a number of their general soldiers. We had one that we sent that was a larger group, almost a combat platoon size, and they lost their entire leadership group, including some of their assistant leaders. It's kind of a modge podge of what's going on. We're not sure if there's problems on the inside, but from what the stories have been is that it has been just what they've been facing has been picking them off. Or at least that's what the ones that come back not screaming into the mountains have said.
May I speak to one of those?
You can. They are in the infirmary, the latest group that is. The rest of them have either been one sent to New Haven for psychiatric rehabilitation, or have just been sent to New Haven in general for physical rehabilitation. But the last group that came out is in the infirmary. You can speak to them for more if you wish, but you are free to go to the field at any time. There will be a team waiting there to essentially make sure that you have anything you need to get into and then to get back out of the bubble.
He's going to give a little respectful head bow. Thank you. And he'll look to the rest of the party. He's not to leave without me. I shall return. And then he's going to head for the infirmary.
Wouldn't dream of it, Creed.
So yeah,
Well,
you
he
head
goes
to the infirmary. Yep. What are you guys going to do while he goes to the infirmary?
I was just gonna say, could I ask Nameless if I could take a look at that? What do you got? I want to look at
The
the ammo and see
crocodile
if I can
rifle?
figure out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
crocodile rifle and the ammo.
Yeah.
But you
So
gotta give it back. It's
I just want to
mine.
see if I can replicate it.
You can look at it. Oh my god, can you give me two? Give me two. Oh my goodness.
I like how his tone changed when I said I'm gonna try and replicate it.
yeah, as he's carrying this like 6.5 foot rifle, being like a 4 foot tabaxi, and he's just like, "No, it's mine." As he's like trying to shield the whole thing with his body, like it's mine, it's mine, it's mine. Don't touch. I can make you another one. Okay, you just have to give it back though.
That's exactly the vibe that was happening. Just saying.
Yeah. It was there. But yeah, you look over and you see that the prototype's pretty rudimentary. Nothing too insane that you haven't seen before in firearms. But you can see kind of why it is more of a custom job. Is that they're trying to change a couple of factors in the rifle, basically the ability of the rifle to make it better at hunting larger creatures. If you give me a solid engineering roll, you would be able to learn more.
That ain't so solid.
So, looking over it, you can see that you can pull some basic information. You see that's a standard bolt action. The bolt is a straight pull. You can see that the trigger is a little bit on the heavy side. You see the breech is reinforced, that the handles are all wood or braced off the barrel. You see the barrel is very heavy. The walls are thick. The rifling is thicker. And past that, you really can't pull anything very strange out of it. It looks like it is meant to be a very heavy punching rifle that is just not seen normally besides cannons.
Do you think you could check out these rounds for me and tell me what they do? Because the artificial was very vague.
I mean, I could try to figure them out for you.
Give me another check there, Mr. Nez.
I'm just glad no one wants my shovel. Or I was gonna murmur that to
That one's
herself.
better. 16.
So with the 16, you're able to tell that the three standard rounds he was given are, like the artificer said, 17 millimeter rounds with a very large casing behind it. They seem to, based off the type of casing it is, that's meant to put a lot of pressure behind that round, more than what you would imagine would be used for even standard munitions. And that the round itself doesn't look all that interesting. It's tapered. It has a boat tail base. It fits the rifle. It just looks dense. The other two custom rounds, though, definitely kind of catch your eye as you're looking over them. You can tell that with the one that is missing some of the metal jacket at the tip is meant to act of that as a hollow point and possibly cause severe bleed damage against the target due to the way the bullet should hit the target. The fifth one, though, the one with the red and black bands on it, you can't really seem to figure out. From what you can tell, you would imagine the bands mean something, but you're not sure what exactly they mean. Give me an investigation, please.
Jesus. 9 again.
So you smell something that you can't tell if it's sulfur or phosphorus from the base of the bullet.
Question.
Yes.
If I make a guess and I guess right, will you tell me?
No.
Son of a bitch. Okay.
Huh.
Question for Nez. Because I'm guessing he's like telling me all this, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you think you can recreate any of these?
Right away, probably not. But when we get back to New Haven, I might be able to duplicate them back at New Haven with more equipment there.
Because if you can duplicate them and make them as we're out and about, I think that'll make this rifle a little more useful.
No, I'll definitely have to figure out exactly what I need to make these. But it is possible. Especially when we go back to New Haven if I talk with the artificers about it.
Cool, so we have a plan.
So while you two were talking about that, Jenna was doing things, and of course, Okros, anything specific that you were planning on doing in the
I was
meantime?
going with my shovel. I was digging in the snow.
Very good.
No, nothing specific, I don't think.
Just chilling. No
You-
pun intended, because you're in the middle of Glacier Keep.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. So with Creed, you walk to the infirmary and you find the soldiers that came back from the last expedition. A few of them, or most of them, look a little worse for wear and are still unconscious and being tended to by nurses and such. One of them, though, is sitting up, has what looks to be a broken right arm, multiple cuts and lacerations that have been bandaged, seems to be bruised and battered, but at least sitting up and trying to drink the cup of water that was placed in front of him. He sees you enter the room, and you see him go to move his right arm and go, habit. I would salute you if I could, Watch Commander, but you see, my arm is out of commission.
Or like $1. No need to spend.
Well, I imagine that I haven't done anything extremely valorous to warrant a visit from the Watch Commander. What can I help you with, Creed?
I will go.
Are we in there with them?
Sir.
The infirmary is a different building.
Okay.
I have to talk with you about what you saw when you went on your expedition.
Oh, that. Yes, I imagine they'd be asking me for a debriefing sooner or later. Well, to put it simply, I'm not sure what I saw. It was definitely on the stranger side of things that I've dealt with. It's just, it seemed that everything began to shift while we were inside that bubble. Things stopped making sense. We were running into plants that had almost human-like tendencies and animal-like behaviors, running into animals that had the abilities and the physical aspects of other ones that shouldn't be crossing over. And then there was that damn bear. That
Damn
damn
bear.
There's this bear. The other teams had warned us about it. They had named it. They had named it the Yao Guai. We don't know why it was named as such. It seemed to have been here before we even arrived. However long that was been, I'm uncertain. But it stalked the first team, tried to attack them, tried to lure them out. And it wasn't successful, but it was successful with the second, as it started to begin to be able to mimic the voices of the first expedition team. And it took out a few of the second, and it seemed to become a little stronger, a little smarter. But its physiology seemed to change. Its shape changed. By the time we saw it, it was like a ghost in the darkness. It would just arrive, and you would suddenly have a 1,600-pound monster standing over top of you, breathing down your neck, ready to kill you. And it would simply stare at you in the eyes and walk away. Almost as if letting you know that it could have, but it didn't. That bear is the spawn of all nightmares. It's not even the worst thing we came across. There are plenty of fights we ran from. We were seeing trolls. The same trolls that we had fought in the frozen wastes seemed to be in spots. Just some of them seeming to look as if they've been fused together, growing extra limbs, extra heads. There were other types of creatures in there where we think were maybe mountain lions or snow leopards, but were significantly larger, more ferocious, having 6 instead of 4 legs, their claws digging into the ice. Everything's twisted. If you are going in, which I imagine is why you're here, watch out for the Yao Guai, and nothing is as it seems. Consider everything hostile until proven otherwise. We had one of our troopers, he got cut by a plant. We didn't think much of it until we started seeing vine shoots growing up his arm and into his skin until he eventually turned into a shrubbery, to say the least.
I'm going in. I must tell you that this is not the first time I've encountered something unusual and hard to explain. To be fair, up until this point, I don't think much more could surprise me. I've watched the city rise, I've watched it fall, I watched the old gods come back. I killed one, fought another one, and then I was brought a number of years into the future, finding out we've almost lost the war, and trying to come back from that. So, I know I give a kind of a shy smile. I suppose if anyone's going to be fine out there and potentially figure out whatever the bloody hell's going on in there, probably be me.
Well, you're a braver man than us, Watch Commander. I wish you all the best, and I wish my information was more thorough, but it's hard to remember. I thought we were all just going crazy. We felt like we were reverting, going back to primitive instincts, to hunt, to kill, to scream, to mutilate. Once we got out, it just felt like everything snapped back to what we were supposed to be. And the way the docs described it was mental whiplash. But and he grabs
Pretty sure I know what's in there.
yeah. He grabs his head as he kind of groans in pain as he's holding it. And he's just gritting his teeth and bent over into like a C shape as he just starts exerting in pain as doctors rush over and just start yelling for medications.
Creed's very authoritatively going to hold up his hand and stop them. I know that probably immediately sends hair up on the back of your spine there, Mr. Medical. But how tall is he, like laying or sitting on his bed?
He's sitting up in his bed.
Alright, so Creed is going to drop down to a knee, and he's going to put one hand on the man's shoulder. And he's just going to soothingly talk to him. Come back with me. Come on. And I'm going to do lay of hands on him. Or lay on hands.
You summon forth your magic as you speak to him, trying to push your energy into his life force to essentially stabilize what exactly is going on with him. And as you push that energy towards him, trying to bring him back from whatever brink he's on, you actually start to hear a ringing sound in your ears that becomes more and more intense. You actually feel your hand start to heat up as what you experience for the first time is magical feedback. Something isn't allowing your energy to pass through you into him.
For lack of a better phrase, he's going to double down.
You feel the pain begin to spread across your own body as you push all of this force in one direction, but it immediately comes back to you, circling back into your own system. You feel your heart begin to race. You feel your pressure start to rise. You begin to sweat. Your hand feels like it's on fire. The heat creeping up your arm, your nerves firing in all directions at once as both you and the man now sit there gritting in pain for different reasons, as you just can't seem to tell why this isn't working.
Creed, by the way, as you said, I physically did tits, so well done. But Creed is going to grate his teeth, and I can't obviously do it because I'm at work, but
Right.
he is going to exponentially get louder. And he would say, "You shall not have him." So
You
when he says
push
him, it's
yourself.
basically a fellow.
Yeah, you push yourself to your absolute limit. At this point, your hand is as bright as a magnesium flare. The amount of energy you are putting out is equivalent to a seasoned wizard, to a high level paladin, to someone who has the magical capacity for something to do miracles. And you are pushing all of it into this one person. And it is just fighting back at every step. It's almost as if the magic doesn't know where to go and it's just feeding back into you. The light becomes so bright that you can't look at him. Your eyes close, your teeth grit, your voice bellowing throughout the infirmary. The bed itself begins to shake as the kinetics from what is happening is now shaking you and him and the ground you stand on, as the ringing is piercing your ears, getting ever louder in your own mind, the sweat drenching down your skin, soaking the clothes that you put on to deal with the the cold weather. And eventually you feel hands grab your shoulders and pull you away as the room goes silent. The ringing dies down. The light dies away. The rest of you see and hear this as it happens. You feel the rumbling in the ground. You see the tent nearby light up as you see the silhouette of Creed against the outside of the tent. You see people rush over and you follow in suit as you all see Creed being pulled away from this man and onto the ground as the light dies out. The rumbling stops. The sound stops.
What the hell is that?
And you all can see Creed's right hand. His palm is burned to hell. It is smoking still, which, to say that of a tiefling paladin, is saying something.
What the hell did you do?
Considering, unless I'm mistaken, I'm immune to diseases. I have a little bit of fire resistance, and I'm burnt.
Yes. You have demonic blood in you, hence why you're a tiefling, and your skin is burnt. Just let that weigh in your brain for a second. So when you guys walk in, you see that the man that he was working on is now laying on his back, but he has no burn print on his shoulder where Creed was touching him. He is now asleep, as one of the nurses has given him essentially the equivalent of Dilaudid and has taken away his pain and just helped him kind of lean back. You see that he is beat to hell. He is injured to shit and needs to go to bed. Creed, on the other hand, has been pulled to the ground by a number of essentially the equivalent of EMTs and nurses that pull them away as they're seeing this magnesium flare brightness erupt in the middle of the infirmary. And so you see Creed's hand still smoking, the skin on its palm burned. Even the clothes on his arm seem slightly singed. And he is drenched in sweat, and he seems almost instantaneously exhausted, just bent out of shape and burnt out. Whereas at least the man in the bed seems like he's at least stable.
I would have walked up to Creed and cast Cure Wounds on his hand
You do so.
and say, What happened?
Aura's gonna look at Creed and be like, "You didn't do what I think you did you?"
So, you do cast wounds or cure wounds on him, and you see the skin on his hand, the burned dead cells begin to fall off in a sheet as the skin beneath it grows anew, and the skin that was affected by the burns just heals rapidly and returns to normal. The stiffness in his hand and arm gone through the healing. And you both ask him the question of what happened and what did you do?
Creed is going to, like, unsteadily and, like, stumblingly, stand up and walk over, like, make his way over to the bed and just drop down to a knee next to it. Cool. Oh my. That felt fun. Medic!
The nurses are around you, and one of them comes up to you and goes, Creed, we wish you would have asked before doing that. We've found that those that have come back are different.
Check him.
Different how?
We have checked him, Creed. He's alive, he's well, he's sleeping. The
Aura's
amount
gonna look at the
of
nurse.
the amount of pain meds we've had to give him to keep him satiated due to the numeral fractures and everything else that we haven't been able to heal through our normal means has been quite high. We've had to go very conventional with him, no shortcuts. Now it seems that most of these kids that come out of the bubble are different. Their bodies don't react to the magic as we see now. It takes a while. Some of the ones that we sent down to New Haven for rehabilitation, after a few weeks, started being able to refocus their magic again. But it seems that as they come out for an unspecified amount of time, they're either resistant or they just can't work with the energies that are around them. But she turns to you, Aura, and goes, I heard you had a question.
Yes. Sorry, I would like to know different how. How have these soldiers come back different?
Well, what you just witnessed was what we've called magical feedback, where to use magic in this world, you have to be that of a circle, a cycle, if you will. The monks of old are the ones that best describe it. You pull the energy from the world you stand on, you push it outward, and it returns to you through the same way. These soldiers, these kids coming out of this bubble, that wiring that allows us to be cyclic is changed. We don't know how, we don't know why, but they seem incapable of using the energy outside of that dome, and their bodies have to naturally readjust. We wish we understood why, as it would let us help them, but it seems the only cure for it right now is time.
Okay. Reed, you okay over there?
I won't. He's gonna stand back up. Every day we don't go in, there's another day where all men and women like this go in. As
Say
they
again?
say, there's no time like the present. Yeah. Let me step into the bathroom and talk. Every day we don't go in is another day. Men and women like this go in and come out like that. As they say, there's no time like the present. He's gonna do the, I don't even know what to call it, the finger wag and
Yes.
clench a fist. Oh, wonderful. I still have my head. Was worried about that. Well, but you need a new glove? And I said, let's go. And he's gonna live 10. Like nothing happened.
Yep.
Just another day of being Creed.
Yes, very much. Do the rest of you follow Creed out of the tent?
I follow Creed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I follow him.
All right. So, Creed, I would imagine that you head back to the carriage to essentially make sure you have all of your gear and then get ready to leave the outpost by foot to head to the border of the bubble.
Sounds a good idea.
Wonderful.
So let's do that.
So, you do that as such. You all head back to the carriage and you grab what you need, whether it's your bags, your clothing, your items, your sentient door knocker, things of that nature that would be useful in this situation.
My shovel.
Your shovel, yes.
My large egg.
Your very large egg.
Egg.
And
I
you
still
all
want to eat.
and you all prep yourselves for stepping into the bubble itself.
I want to say something real quick out of character.
Sure.
Stealth, if you set that thing down and I get face hugged, I'm gonna be very pissed. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be unbelievably pissed.
Space Station 13
Hey,
enters
hey
D&D.
guys, I'm just gonna sit this down for a second. Don't mind me. And face hugged. Yeah.
I don't get it.
It's an aliens joke.
Oh my god. You are killing me.
Let me guess. You don't see the alien either.
I know what an alien is.
No.
The movie.
Alien the movie.
No,
With
I
Sigourney
haven't.
I'm so
Weaver?
scared to start listening off pop culture because she's gonna keep saying no.
I also haven't seen Predator either. I haven't seen Alien. I
Oh.
also have not seen Predator.
Ugh, oofs. Big oofs across the
Man,
board.
I'm actually glad I'm at work right now. I'm pretty sure I would start doing shots by now.
Oh, God. So, we're going to have to start having movie nights in the reliquary at this point. Anyway,
Unpopular opinion, I didn't think Predator was that good.
it's not. It's
Under the First Amendment, you're allowed to be wrong.
I mean, it's one of those things. It's
Wait,
one of
so
those
you're not
things where
streaming
if
anymore?
you,
I am
I'm no-
streaming.
yeah,
Oh, you're not showing up on my list.
weird.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I see my wife's
yeah.
watching me right now. So.
yeah, Predator is
Yeah,
one
you
of those
were
movies
streaming
where
for me.
ah,
No, you're not.
Predator is one of those movies where it's not super great. It's still a good watch. It's one of those things where it just kind of sets the tone for 80s movies, which is always a good thing. But past that point, you all prepare yourselves to enter into the bubble. You
Hot
see,
shots is better. Just saying.
listen. So you stand yourself by the edge. You walk the 400 meters towards the edge of it. You see that small team waiting for you. As you approach and you kind of stand in line shoulder to shoulder, you are a sight to behold from where you first found yourselves. Creed still looks as distraught as ever. but seems to have had a better gear collection. His armor changed and tarnished and polished once again. Nameless stands at a solid 4 foot, but now with a 6-foot rifle laid across his shoulder. The cloak he wears blending him into the snow, even though his black fur makes him stand out. Aura, seeming more confident in her actions, still standing with her trident and her stuffed bear, seemed ready to enter into it in her large puffy jacket and her spade. Okro standing tall with his now sentient door knocker and his large warhammer, his giant meat tenderizer used for cooking. His fur blowing majestically in the breeze, the snow sticking to it as he looks just onward, almost as if distraught by something. And then finally, of course, Nez, standing ready to go, weapons at the hip, gear across the chest, the mask strapped across his shoulder, no longer afraid to show who he truly is. It's you all stand there as a symbol of progress, of hope, of strength, of defying destiny, of defying your faults. And you feel that stepping through this wall will be towards the final milestone of this region. And you know that if you wish to see the gods answer for their crimes, to answer for the pain they've caused, that the next step is through this wall of shimmering light and fear. The patrol that stands outside that is waiting for you essentially gives you the end of a very thick rope. The other end, of course, tethered into the ground outside the bubble. They give you a handful of flares and flags to utilize as well. And at the end of this very thick rope that is about 200 feet long is a tall metal pole with an orange flag on it. They essentially tell you to go straight in till the rope goes taut, slam it into the ground to mark your exit point, and then use the flags and flares as you see fit to mark a pathway back to where you started. As once you get inside, it seems to go strange. So they hand you these things as you prepare to enter. And they all stand back and look at you and go, "Good hunting. You're going to need it." And now, Aura, a question bounces across your head with a small voice giving you the answer. You can touch the wall.
Aura's gonna reach out and put her finger on it or through it or whatever happens.
You put your finger in your hand on the shimmering light wall, and at first it feels solid, but as you kind of put a little pressure behind it, it seems to just give way. Then you walk in a pretty easy fashion. And as you all see Aura disappear into the shimmering light, the question is, do you follow?
Yeah, I just drop kick her and run away.
This is an awful lot like the sideshow.
It's just reminding me of the circus.
Literally what I just said is I'm like, fuck, here we go again here. Circus.
I just want to run, jump, drop kick her into it, and then run away.
I'm already in it.
You've already seen her pass into the wall. The
Oh.
question is, do you follow behind her?
You can't let me drop kick her just once, can you?
No. Later. Maybe.
I am baby.
Not today.
Not
Oh,
today,
Chris?
Satan Kitty. Not today.
Indeed.
By the way, I 100% believe you asked that in character. Oh, Chris? Grab the cat. And then Creed's just going to walk through.
Or it's gonna be whistling the Seven Dwarves "Hi Ho, Hi Ho" song
Jesus.
as she walks through.
And if
Follow
I may
Creed
have a
through.
little interpretation, Mr. DM,
Uh-huh.
I assume it's something like walking through the Stargate where you just poof go through. As I hear
Basically.
that, really choosing to tempt things onto you, and then he's through.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you step through the wall and you see Aura about like 15 feet ahead of you, whistling a tune as she's just walking through this what looks to be cut forest path. And as you step through, behind you, you see Nez, Okros, and Nameless follow. As you all find yourselves almost in a completely different environment. As inside this bubble, it's not as cold as it was outside.
Laura's gonna take her jacket off and just start dragging it because it's too big to fit in her backpack.
As soon as you take it off, it shrinks down to size.
I'm gonna glare at it and put it in my backpack.
You put it in your backpack.
He's killing himself with laughing right now.
But it does seem that the temperature inside this bubble is warmer. The ground is not covered in snow. The sound of ice crunching underneath feet is gone, as it seems that you are almost more in a autumn state than a
And the
winter
Hunger
state.
Games outside.
Creed has his hand on the pommel of his sword as he's walking along. Does that make sure everyone's through? By the way, who has the rod and rope?
Laura's gonna turn around and be like, "Oh, hey guys, what do you mean by rope?"
As you all ask this question, you just see this large spool of rope get thrown through the shimmering wall.
Because we only took
That
the other
answers that
stuff.
question. Wonderful. Creed's gonna walk over. Guess how big is this?
The rope is probably about 4 inches thick, and the rod at the end of it that has the flag on it, it's probably about 3 inches of steel. So it's
Okay.
heavy, but you're just dragging it at that point.
Yeah.
'Cause it's attached to a
Yeah.
tether on the other side.
So it's a 3-inch
okay.
rod, huh?
Yeah, it's a pretty thick rod.
Pretty sure the cat's familiar with that size.
Need more rope.
Creed's is gonna.
Yeah, it's right here. And I grab my crotch.
Of course.
And for that, you're gonna get a thump on the head. So
Laura's just gonna roll her eyes and keep walking.
Creed's gonna drag it and follow along. Also,
Yeah.
Polly's right. He go unmuted. If you need me, I'm hiding in the bathroom while I'm talking. So
Yeah. So Creed follows along, dragging it as you are all just looking around at the environment you're in. You just stepped in from essentially a Arctic season to that of a mild autumn. The temperature is probably close to 50, 60 Fahrenheit. So you're looking at, 14, 15 centigrade, maybe a little bit closer to the 16, 17 marker. Like, it's nice. It's not too bad. Like a light jacket and a coffee would do you wonders. It's, you see that the snow isn't on the ground. The sky is clear with quotation marks as you can't see outside of it past the dome. But for the most part, it seems that it looks normal inside, at least. But you all start noticing things
as you walk down this path that has been cut clean, that the flora around you seems off. The trees seem twisted at different angles than you would see normally, as especially the druid would know that trees tend to grow upward because they're fighting against gravity and they're trying to reach the sun. These trees are twisted. They do not grow in a straight line. Or if a tree falls and has to bend, it will do so. But these just seem to twist for no reason other than that the fact that they want to. The roots seem to rise and lower through the ground at random. Their trunks twisted and gnarled at places that don't make a whole lot of sense. The bark seems to be almost cookie cutter between each of them. Whereas, as you saw coming through this region before, that the trees are relatively varied. You know, they were all, of course, colder weather trees, such as maples and such. But they all had their own different bark styles being subspecies. But now it seems to all be the same. Even though their leaves, their needles, the nuts they make, the fruits, all seem to still be different, minus the actual main characteristics of the tree itself. Even the way they grow seems to become that of traditional or commonplace, where they seem to grow into a canopy instead of as individual trees. Even the shrubbery and the low bushes all seem to be acting in odd ways and shapes. You have ferns that act like shrubs and shrubs that are acting like ferns, whether growing large in one spot or spreading low and far across the ground. It is just a botanical nightmare. Why, thank you, Carson. Thank you for stopping in before you pass out. So it seems strange that nothing really seems to make sense. You hit the 200-foot mark for the pole, for the rope. You easily plant it into the ground as you all stand around a relatively large circular clearing that seemed to have been made by the past teams. Looking over it, you see that there is evidence of old camps and such here. And you just seem to take a moment to look further around. As up ahead through these trees, you can see the walls of Glacier Keep. So you all have a moment standing in an old campsite from one of the other teams.
Or it's gonna look around and be like, I wonder what kind of animals reside in here because this is weird.
Grace just staring off at what remains of the keep. Just enough to see, far enough to be a problem.
Thank you, Anonymous, for the 5 gifted.
If I had to hazard a guess, or theory, and he's going to gesture, that place is always going to be that far away for quite some time. And actually, he's going to quickly do a 360. Can he tell which way is north?
And
Your
I'll look for
compass
things.
it's you really can't. You can't really see the sun in here due to the dome. You check your compass, your gear, and the compass seems to spin in circles and just act strange.
The reason I ask, he has keen mind. He always knows where north is. But
And it seems this time you can't.
Yeah. I'm curious. So I'm also going to spell this. I'm going to spell it wrong.
It is not.
Oh, I would like the way you were describing it. I was fully willing to just roll it out, but I was like, I
No,
have a
it is.
feeling I
It
know
is.
what's gonna.
It is not one of those.
Okay. I was gonna feel really proud of myself if it was.
That is a good plan though. Like, give yourself a pat on the back. That is a very good guess. That is very good. Very educated.
Everybody take. Everybody ready to keep going? Well, whoever came here before us, you know what? Let's hope we don't encounter what remains of them.
You find yourselves ready once again to move out as you look around, check the edges of the woods, and see what's there. Aura brings up how she wants to know what kind of uh, forest life, animals exist here still. If something odd has found itself here, as well as the plant life. And you all just see that besides the trees and the plants all looking the same, you hear a rustling in the bushes. Something moving around very quickly. Do you do anything in reaction to the rustling in the bushes?
I'd ready my weapon just in case.
Aura's gonna go investigate. Can you hear me? I have to switch headphones.
Yes, I hear you.
Okay. I want to go investigate the rustling.
I go prone for reasons.
All right. So, Aura, you step closer to the rustling noise as Okros is a few feet behind you, hammer raised, and Nameless is in a undesignated spot, prone for reasons. You step a little closer as the rustling continues to grow in strength. Whatever it is shaking the bushes and limbs of this plant severely. And as you get a little bit closer to investigate, you see a deer jump out of the bushes in front of you and stop in the pathway that leads from the campsite to the walls of Glacier Keep. But this deer looks very strange. Its body looks the same as normal. It may at first glance seem more like a caribou than a standard white-tailed deer. But it doesn't look that off. The fur looks the same, hooves are the same. It's got 4 legs, but its head seems more square. Like it's not as rounded, as elegant. And then its antlers catch your eyes. Its antlers almost seem prismatic, almost as if they were made of something that wasn't bone, as if they were made of crystal. And it just stares at you.
So
I'm gonna try and pet it. No, actually,
that's better than what I was gonna say.
Hold on. Sorry, trying to corral a dog while still trying to pay attention. Do I have talk to animals?
I don't. Let me see, because I don't know if you have speak with animals. See if that's something you put in your spelly list.
I think it is. I think speak with animals is still there.
Yep, speak with animals. Yep.
Can I cast it? And then I'll let you roll for me because I'm not at my laptop.
I mean, yeah, it's a ritual, so it's not affected by the instability, but
Okay.
you cast it. You take the few minutes to kind of get all your things together to actually cast it slowly as to not startle the deer that is now just standing in front of you. Its shoulders almost to your upper part of your chest. Like this, as you kind of study it from a distance, it's a big specimen.
Mm-hmm.
And so you finish your ritual rather quickly, trying to expedite it, and you feel the ability to speak come forth. What do you do?
Yeah, I didn't think this far. Ask it where it comes from and what it is.
I am alive. What are you?
I am a seal. Who brings you to here?
Food, shelter, running.
Are you of magic being or of fae, or are you altered in any way? I don't know what words I'm thinking of here.
I am I.
You are you. Why are we speaking in riddles?
Because it's a fucking animal. It's not an awakened beast. Doesn't have the ability to form coherent sentences.
Are you magic?
It doesn't say anything back to you, as it doesn't seem to understand the term of what you're asking it. It doesn't seem to understand magic.
Or is going to turn and look at our fellow compatriots. Anything you want to ask this creature?
No, nothing I can think of that I would want to ask it. Hey, Okros, are you able to cook it?
I was gonna say, does it
What
taste
else
good?
is- What else is
What?
around this?
Nameless and be like, I am not asking it if it tastes good.
The deer seems to ask you, Aura. The red one, what did he ask?
Who's the red one?
That would be Creed. He's a red tiefling.
Oh, he cut out. What did he say?
He said, what else is around here?
What other or is going to turn to look back at the deer? What else is around here?
Land, vast, food and shelter. The
Any other?
walls, the
Any other?
monsters. The
What do you mean
monsters live
by the
within the
monsters?
walls.
What do you mean by the monsters? Are they? What kind of creatures are the monsters? Do they have a species?
Hungry and gnashing teeth, bloodied maws and aggression, rage, fear. Monster.
Are they? Are they powerful?
You see the deer's ears perk up as its head turned towards the walls, as you just hear a deep bellow ring out from inside as you hear it say, afraid, run, monster, teeth, fear, as it sprints off into the woods.
Well, there goes dinner.
Or is gonna turn and look at her teammates and be like, "Well, you told me of the monsters and
What
how
about the monsters?
that they're powerful and scary and bloody gnashing teeth
Where are the monsters?
within the walls." That's all the deer told me is the monsters are within the walls or the of the walls. That's all the information they gave me. And then the monster bellowed. That bellow we heard was apparently the monster, and that's why it took off.
Do you want to see what Creed wrote?
You see Creed pull his sword as the bellows from the city echoes into the woodline. And you just hear him say very quietly, "I don't need a deer to tell me that we've been invited to dance." The bellow echoing across the plains around you and from inside the walls.
Well, I for one am not scared.
Well, if I see Creed bring forth his sword, I'm gonna pull out Crocodile Dundee here. Chamber around. A regular round.
Or picks up and holds up her shovel like she's ready to swing at it.
I'd bring out Lucifer.
You all prepare weapons and stances. But you see that the city is still a few hundred meters from your position. But you do know that something perhaps knows you're here. And it waits within the walls of Glacier Keep. Now the question is, do you keep going?
Obviously, we keep going. What else we gonna
Yeah.
do? Turn around and fail again?
Can I roll perception to see if I see anything within said keep that is hundreds of meters away? 100
Sure,
meters
go
away.
ahead. Roll for it.
Would this be an advantage roll because of my eyes of the eagle?
Yes.
That'd be a nat 20, sir.
All right, so with the best possible outcome, you can see with your eagle eye goggles that there are large shapes moving in between the buildings of the keep. That between you and there, it seems to be relatively open. The vegetation cut down long ago between where you stand and where it lies. You can see the same holes in the wall that you came across the first time. You can see the grave of the soldier that was buried that saved your life. All of those months ago when you first came to the Glacier Keep. But inside the walls, you see shadows of creatures moving around.
Okay, well, I would like to relay this to the team. There's definitely something else in this keep that wasn't there when we left.
Lovely. I think we're at least ready for it now. Or maybe we can get around it to figure out what's going on.
So, if you all prepare yourselves to move forward, Nameless does tell you that there is an open pathway between you and there, that it would be easy to at least get close to the wall and then plan your next moves. So, what do you guys want to do?
I'm good
I'm
with
down to
going
follow the
with
path.
Nameless.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So, you all begin moving towards the walls, sticking close to the pathways, ditching in between the foliage and otherwise. You come across a small bridge that seems to be ramshackle and leads across a small body of water. It doesn't seem out of the ordinary, but you feel like something is watching you as you walk across it. Just an eerie sense of dread befalls your shoulders. As you cross that bridge and furthermore towards the walls of the city, you find yourself cresting a hill. The hill seems to be poxmarked by these large pits that seem to be once filled with something. And you suddenly realize where you are. You realize that you are where the first time you went to the Glacier Keep, where the death trolls rose out of the ground and ambushed you. But you see now that all that is left of them are the holes that they had dug for themselves in the snow, that now just exist as empty pits of what once was. You continue moving up the hillside, ever closer towards the plateau the keep sits on. The feeling of eyes on you, ever constant and ever consistent. And it seems that the closer you get to the wall, the more intense the feeling becomes. So,
The keep
you get up.
adventuring.
Yep. Get up towards the plateau. You're about 50 or so meters from the wall. And I need a dex check from, let's see, who. So, who would be walking in front? Like, who would be point man on this little expedition?
Whose idea was to venture towards the wall?
Agreed. All right, so that means I would need a dex check from Creed and the person behind him. So let's.
I guess I would probably be behind him.
Did it measure straight? It'd just be straight dex check.
Straight up dex check.
All right. So both of you don't fall into what you happen to step on. As you crest the ridge and entering the plateau, You both step on something that kind of gives way very quickly, and you pull yourselves back before you fall into it. You see that what you stepped on seemed to have been reeds and old material that seemed to have been patched over this hole. This large pit that seems to be oddly shaped. And it doesn't look like the same as the ones for the trolls that you had fought before. It's much closer to the wall. And it just seems that the vegetation around it was also burned. As you step past it just a little bit, get some better eyes on the situation, you see that the hole is generally bear shaped.
The hole is bear shaped.
It's bear shaped.
I like bears.
We are aware.
Is it a dead bear?
No, there's nothing in the hole. The hole is just
Oh.
bear shaped.
Oh.
That's the problem. There's nothing in the hole.
Bear-shaped hole, burnt vegetation. Meteorite was a bear.
Ah, yes. The sky bear.
Laura's gonna turn and look at her compatriots and be like, "Well, looks like we're facing another bear, hey guys?"
You think on that comment for a second and you realize that it's not another bear. It's the same bear.
Mm-hmm.
That somehow it has returned to being a nuisance after what you did to it.
I'm waiting for the lecture of whoever told me to take his head last time.
But regardless, you step around the bear-shaped hole that is empty and find a hole in the wall that leads to the tavern you had used for shelter before. As you look at the wall and approach it slowly, ever quietly, moving yourself around the bear-shaped hole, you see that the vegetation here has also grown in strange contorts and shapes, stretching onto the walls in vine-like structures that are not normal for the types of vegetation that grow around here. It's almost as if you mixed ivy with wheat, where it's growing with stalks that have golden heads on it, but seem to cling to the stone as if it was grasping for life like an ivy plant, or growing across the ground in great sheets like a holly. It's strange to see this hybridization of these plants that shouldn't be able to. And you find the hole that leads to the tavern you'd used for shelter before. You can't tell where the sun is or what time it is, but you feel tired. You feel a little bit of exhaustion kind of creeping up on you. You don't feel like you've been in here that long to warrant it, but you can see that the sky is beginning to darken. And you entered closer to, I would say, 9 in the morning.
Laura's gonna start looking around to see what she can find.
You see a hole in the wall, the bear hole, and you can see the tavern from where you stand.
Laura's gonna turn and look at her friends and be like, "Well, do we go check out the tavern?"
Well, I am kind of tired.
Creed wants to know if the tavern door is open.
Unable to be seen from the distance you're at.
I would at least be good with going in there and resting up for a moment and gathering everything we've saw so far and going over it before we continue on.
My Discord glitch. Oh.
So if you all agree to move towards the tavern, you can see that it's 120 feet or so from the wall. Not a hard move. And it seems that as Aura poked her head around and looked, there doesn't seem to be anything waiting for you on the other side of the wall towards the tavern.
Well, let's go into the tavern then, friends, if it's open.
All right.
All right. So you all duck through the hole, quickly making your way down the street, avoiding what you can see now of broken weapons and broken glass that existed beneath the snow and ice that you saw before. Dodging in between the alleyways, moving quickly. And you make it up to the tavern, the corner of it specifically, as you hide more so in the alley next to it than inside. One of you pokes your head around the corner and sees that the door is not open. The windows are still open, as how you were able to get in and out before. But it seems like no one has been in here from what you can tell from the outside.
Well, if we haven't already, I guess we enter.
Yeah, great. You approach the window, and you can see there's no one inside. That there may have been someone who had gone through previously, but as it stands, it looks like there is no one currently in there. Um, so you deem it safe to enter. So I
Sorry,
imagine.
I might have to flip out if my Discord keeps doing this. It keeps silencing you guys.
Okay. So Creed waves you all in. And as you all step into the tavern, you see that the supplies you had left before to allow you to close the windows and shutter out the cold that you had left are still there. But it seems that nothing has really changed. The blankets that you had found and brought downstairs are still there. The fire has not been lit in quite some time, the logs desiccated. Otherwise, it seems relatively normal. Even some of the bottles that you had found previously full of liquor are still here as well. They have not been touched or looted. It just seems oddly quiet in this tavern. But as you all get inside, you can start to see that the sun continues to go down fairly quickly. What do you guys want to do to try and prepare yourselves or prepare the tavern?
I'll go over the fortifications we made prior and ensure they're still solid and reinforced if needed.
So, Okros, as you go and you check the windows and the door, you see that it's all still relatively reinforced from where you were before, minus the window you came through, which easy enough to replace and set. You can see that the
Yeah,
door is
yeah,
not damaged.
my internet keeps cutting in and out. I'll be here next Friday. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
Bye.
You see that the door is still sturdy and reinforced. The hinges, the locking, and all of that good stuff. That it seems does need a whole lot of work, but it wouldn't hurt to put something heavy against it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
And with you, Mr. Creed, as you go upstairs with a slight moment of hesitation, you remember what you saw, and that as you go to step upstairs, you see vines growing down from the upstairs, down the stairs to the floor where you are staying currently. You step gently over the vines and ever closer, and you find where the two owners had perished, only plants remained. Almost as if they were completely replaced by bundles of ivy and vines that grew outward in all directions, spreading across the floor of the upstairs, between all the rooms and the window sills and the door frames. The vague shape of humanoid figures still there, but has now been replaced by bundles of vines representing what used to be there. The rest of you find nothing of interest. As Creed steps back downstairs to help you guys fortify, you see that everything is relatively ship-shape from the last time you were here, which is both good and bad. It means it's good because it makes it easier for you to step in, but it feels not great because that means that no one has been here. So it seems to be a bittersweet situation at most. And so you all settle down for the night after fortifications have been made, putting something heavy against the door, putting the broken tables over the windows, making sure that the upstairs is clear and that those are at least closed up to give you a sense of security. As you close up the second window downstairs, you see that the light outside has almost disappeared entirely. Your body is beginning to feel more exhausted than they should. Again, you feel like you haven't been up for that long, but your bodies are saying otherwise. And from outside, you begin to hear noises. Howls and bellows echoing across the cityscape, just seeming to answer one another. Almost as if a tell of something outside. You feel that those sounds are not close by, but that's not the sound that gets you the most. Heavy footfalls and chains seem to echo outside as something large begins to walk past the tavern. Its footsteps shaking the bottles and trinkets off the shelvings, moving the chairs on their own accord. And eventually, after a few moments, as you keep yourselves quiet, the lights on the fire and the lanterns tight, it finally passes. Another bellow erupts in the distance, a deeper one. The sound of fighting ensues. The sound of thumping of bones and ground begin to erupt in the city around you. And all you can do is sit tight and hope that nothing comes looking. You realize that wherever you are, you have found yourself in a city of monsters. And that nothing seems to be what you expected. Between the vines taking over the spots of the bodies that were left here, the fact that the plants around the city seem to grow the same but also different, becoming hybrids of their former selves, the trees being twisted, the deer being larger, their antlers becoming prismatic instead of bone, the missing bear, all begins to piece that this situation may become worse than one thought if you're not careful. The sounds of the footsteps of the large creature outside seems to mimic another that you can feel further out, almost like deep clots of thunder pounding into the dirt and sending its message. The fight outside the building continues. The blows that land are that of between two monsters of great size, until you hear a thunderous crack, the crunching of bones, and silence. Outside the tavern, you hear a woman's voice yell, "Help me, please. Help me." What do you do?
Oh. Oh, Chris knows that they said that the thing mimics voices. He's just gonna sit down and be like, "Nope."
Freed's gonna whisper this loud enough for everyone to hear. Do not do anything. Do not move. Do not think. Do not do anything. Stay here.
The cries for help die out, become quieter, and then non existent. All of a sudden, rapid footsteps approach the tavern, the thumping of fists against the window, the yelling of the voice again, "Help me, someone, please." What do you do?
I'm just going to continue to ignore it.
The pounding intensifies. The yelling seems to become angrier. Instead of being of fear, becoming of frustration, of rage, until eventually stopping. And you hear just a deep gurgle, a gurgling roar, a good descriptor, with clicking behind it. And you just hear a soft voice come through the barricades. Just, "I want to talk to the bear. I just want to talk to the bear. Creed, please. I just want to talk to the bear." The voice sounds that of Aura's. almost verbatim. And you see that she is sitting right across from you, her eyes wide and full of terror.
Can you hear me?
A little bit, yes.
So Creed is going to get up as quietly as possible. He is going to walk over, and he is going to kneel in front of Aura, and he's going to just put his hand over her mouth. And then he's just going to stay silent.
Very good. Eventually, the voice stops. Again, anger filling it, but then it dissipating. As you hear now heavy footfalls of a large creature, not as large as you heard before, but that of an immense density and size, just seem to pace the front of the tavern. Slowly, just pacing, hearing the wood creak under its footsteps. You hear the heavy breathing, the muscles shifting as it walks. And then the last thing you hear as the footsteps start to dissipate, as if gaining distance, you hear another voice come out from it, from outside the tavern, going, "There's a monster, hunting, wanting, help, eat." As you hear almost a chortling chuckle of just deep tones, unnatural to be heard. As the footsteps drop off and become quieter as distance is gained, the sound returning of bone crunching and flesh tearing from the fight between two monsters that happened further down the street. The unease and stress grabs at the air around all of you, as it seems that you truly have found a den of monsters. And now they seem to know that you're here. And that is where we end our session for tonight.
Oh dear.
I was half a second away from shooting through the fucking barricade, just FYI.
I was getting ready to shove a grenade down its throat.
Well, I was about to load that fucking striped ass round that I have no idea what it does and just send it.
Just full send, deal with the issue later, get it out of here. I want nothing to do with it.
So the ending thing that it said, it's the same shit that the deer was saying, right?
No, it was the same thing that you heard from the soldiers.
Oh, okay.
So the guys that were in the infirmary that were talking, they were talking about how it's a monster. It was essentially doing recordings of the people it killed.
Got it.
But yeah, that is the big setup for the Glacier Keep.
Have you ever seen the movie Screamers?
I've seen
Nope.
bits and parts of it, yes.
I own it. Remind me, I will send you it. It is a phenomenal movie. But it's really, really hopeful for this now.
Oh yeah, it's
Like-
and if a homework for you guys, if you so wish it, um, the movie that I have this part of the arc based off of is called Annihilation, and it's a weird one. I'll give you that. But if you want to go watch it to kind of get an idea of what I'm playing with material wise and potential that I'm playing with, that's what we're dealing with. And so that's going to be a real fun thing for everyone to deal with going forward. But yeah, so that was the setup for the Lighthouse, the Glacier Keep, where you now know that you are in not a den of vipers, den of monsters.
Okay. The one that I was thinking of when we first got in was Color Out of Space.
Another good one.
Do you have a Blu-ray player? Or do you have a DVD
I have neither.
player?
I mean,
So,
I have like I think I have like an Xbox I got from my ISP that I think can actually play Blu-rays / DVDs. So I guess technically I have that.
Indeed.
I'll take it. I'm serious.
No,
I
it
will
is.
send you this. But no. I should point out I have no ill will toward you, Aura, when I say this, or Jenna, but you are the weakest link. I mean that as the best possible way. Oh, she disconnected. Never mind. I don't.
She's not even here.
Like, she's the character who actually has empathy, and like, put it bluntly, she seems the person to open the door to the monster.
So
So
that's actually a good point to bring up. So what's one thing you guys have noticed as we kind of, because there wasn't a whole lot of moments in this session with us coming back and doing a lot of setup for the sessions going forward, which kind of sucks, but kind of makes sense because I wanted to get you guys into combat and doing more things, but it was also like we had to get everyone to the stations, have exposition put in place. So big oofs, but we're going to try and do more action stuff come next session. But past that point, in sessions past, what have you noticed about the themes? Because there's been specific reasons for certain things happening.
we take advantage of the different character traits everyone possesses. In the case of Aura, it's the fact that she has a good heart, but she's kind of naive.
Someone give Creed a gold medal, because that's exactly what it is that all of your character flaws are turned against you by one stretch or another. Whether being overzealous, over empathetic, vice versa, potato, etc. So
Curiosity
killed the cat. It's or
Hey, I'm not dead yet.
or arrogance in action or overconfidence, different things that kind of play into your character flaws. You are faced with a situation that makes you face it, and either you succeed or you don't. Aura was tested in the very beginning when the bear was first introduced, and she wanted to try and talk with it and didn't get the idea that it was saying death, murder, kill, that it meant business and should not be played with. And so that was something. And then as she went on, that became a running theme with a lot of her interactions with things where it was like, oh, they're playing off her empathy. And so she started trying to close herself off from him. Trying to be like, oh, you're being really curious. Oh, well, that's going to get you punished. But the big part of what you're walking into with this is that it is going to be hard because you're going to be getting tested on all of your negative traits, every single one of you, With Creed, it's going to be your fear of loss. With Nez, it's going to be curiosity. With Nameless, overconfidence. With Okros, your wish for stability, to be the foundation of your friends, to make sure that they are protected. All those are going to be tested through your character development arcs through the next few sessions, dealing with this and then dealing with breaking out of the region. Because once you break out of the region, we're going to probably be going a little bit faster because of what's going to happen to get you to that part to breaking out of the region. So, doing a lot of the meat and potatoes, and then we're going to jump into the nice toppings of the sandwich, so to speak, once we break out of the northeastern region. But yeah, so I hope you all enjoyed it. Like I said, I apologize for not having as much action stuff or role stuff for this session for us coming back. What I found is that this specific campaign needs a lot more of a gentle touch when it comes to setting things up because of the way the world works. So I'm trying to find ways to make that easier for you guys so you can enjoy more doing things without it feeling slow as shit. But if you guys have anything to say about the session, favorite moments, or things that you thought were cool, you go ahead and bring them up before we close out for the night.
Well, I'm really curious about that egg.
Creed, love the end. Wonderful. I do love my theatrics. You're curious about the egg? All right, do you want me to tell you out of character, or do you want to find out through action?
I want to find out through action.
Okay, because it's
I want
very
the enjoyment out of it.
My man. The only reason I told Rexus what the fucking open door policy does is so that he could use it effectively. Just like, here's the basics. It does this and this. Have fun.
Yeah. Basically, like, just to go over it real quick, while I was ignoring the screams, I was just looking at the egg. Like, this is how I'm ignoring you.
I wish to know the egg. The egg is a fun item. You'll enjoy it whenever it pops up for its use. You'll find a use for it eventually, I imagine.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yes. What other fun things did you guys enjoy? Like I said, it was kind of exposition heavy, but what other things did you think were cool, interesting?
Oh, so when we were doing that bit about the rifle, like literally as we started, my brother brought my mom back home because he took her out to dinner.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they were just in here being just loud and like cool. They're having fun, like whatever.
Yeah.
But I had to like mute. And I'm like, man, I can't interact as much as I want to. I felt so bad. I was like, he's giving me the thing that I want. I can't even be appreciative.
I just figured you were just like processing it. Like you were like, oh shit, he's giving me the thing. I have to link brain. Thought your brain was like short circuiting or something. But no, I didn't feel bad about it. I was like, oh, he's in shocked awe. He's stunned.
It was a little bit of that at first, and then like I said, like they were talking and like hanging out or whatever. So I was just had to be muted.
Yeah, I was like, I'll give him the thing, but with severe limitations stacked on top of it.
So, what kind of limitations do we need for a GAU 8? The
You
limitation is
need
not
an
getting it?
airship. You need at least 3,000 rounds of 30 millimeter high explosive armor piercing incendiary, that is stable in aluminum casings. You then need to build a GAU 8 from scratch, from memory, in D&D.
Yes, you're taking this down, right?
This, you're writing this. Write this down. Write this down. Write this down.
Well, we already got the airship in the other campaign.
That's true.
Just what did you guys spend your session doing? I spent my session doing 3,000 dice rolls to make bullets for our GAU 8 Avenger that's attached to our airship we use once every 3 months.
Just trying to figure out where we get the depleted uranium from.
That's only in discarding Sabo rounds. That is not in the standard 30mm rounds.
Yeah, it is.
Not in the high explosive armor piercing incendiary tracer cores. Not for the Avenger. It has steel cores, but it also has shaped charges and thermite packed into it.
No, dude, they totally use depleted uranium. That's why it penetrates the armor as much or as well as it does.
No, that's
I want
the
to point something out.
that's the HEAPI version of it. The ones that use depleted uranium are the APSUs, the armor piercing discarding Sabo that's used like in the Bradley and on the Sea-Wiz. It can be used, but they can't be explosive or incendiary because the depleted uranium Sabo takes up the space that would be filled with the explosive and the incendiary. But you were saying something, Monsieur Creed?
I thought I was just going to be like healthy and get a good night's sleep, and then you mentioned that like something was fighting back, and I was like, nah. And I was like, you should have asked us. And he's like, that'd be important to me if I could read.
This sign can't stop me. I can't read.
No joke though, I totally expected when you gave our friendly neighborhood cat like this very badass sniper rifle, and they're like, I need you to take notes. I was expecting to go, I don't know how to write. So you just couldn't be mad if you never filled anything out because like I don't know how to write. I can shoot gun. No, I thoroughly enjoyed the ending.
Very good.
I was fully expecting my trauma, but I wasn't expecting more, so that was kind of nice.
Gotta mix it up.
Jenna had to leave, and then it was just like, and she isn't here to be like, no.
I was thinking for a second, I was like, has she been anywhere by herself with no one around since we came into the city? And I was like, no, the voices.
Yeah, I was wondering that too at first, and then I'm like, no. And then he's like, oh, she's like right there. I was like, okay, that's what I thought.
But got worried there. But I was thinking, like, when we came into the city, because it was breached. Like, we came to Keith. We didn't find anything. I was thinking about that. So.
That's super weird. It seems like something that
giant creatures.
That's super weird. It feels like something that someone should have brought up. Oh man.
I can at least argue it from a in-game perspective. That we didn't see bodies at the breach, but that's why Creed went upstairs. He knew where there were some corpses.
Right.
If all else failed, they were still there. He was going to go outside and bury them, but didn't have to worry about that. So.
Yeah. So, any other fun moments you guys enjoyed with?
You guys shooting those bullets right after getting them into a tree.
Yeah, fair.
Just if you come back, we'll top you off with more of those tracker keeper rounds because that's we need it for the marksman teams. And Ranger's like, I'll be back in a second. Dun 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 dun. All right, can I get more? It's like, did you just? But you just. I just. All right, here, go away, get away from me.
For science is all I'm saying. For science.
For science. Very good. But yeah, like I said, I enjoyed the session. I enjoyed kind of making it a little weirder, a little bit more interesting, some more terror and kind of stuff being built up in the back of it, kind of making it so it's like, you're in a den of monsters. It's not gonna be walking and be like, oh, we have to fight one motherfucker. It's like, no.
Mrs. Rage said a rage thing to do.
Yeah, yeah. It's on point, honestly. It's on point. But yeah, so I enjoyed it. I enjoyed kind of playing around with my new storytelling style for you guys for this part, which is more of terror outside the box kind of situation. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Next session will be definitely more action oriented, a little bit more thinking through combat and all that kind of stuff. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And then for those of you who are watching who haven't yet, join the Discord. There's reminders for the session, so you don't have to just write it down or just pay attention to the stream filter here, since we run the campaigns rotating now to make my life easier because of my children and all the Aja that they give me. But past that, if you haven't joined the Discord, link is on the Twitch channel. And of course, don't forget to follow the rest of the individuals that are here with us. Mr. Blackburn doesn't stream, but Mr. Rexus, Mr. Stealth, and Mr. It's Time to Rage all do. So please follow them. They're also in the server. So if you want to find their names or if you want to find their links, they're all there. All their stuff set up in the server for you to find through the streamer family tree. Anyone else that you want to follow, like our friend Raffi, friend Salty, KK, Cherry, all the other people that kind of come through on normal nights are all there. If you missed the session, that's fine. We have the archive set up for you guys. There it is, actually popping up right on schedule. Fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Bot. So go subscribe to that. All the session videos are up there. I directly export them so you don't miss anything. It's fully unedited for your viewing pleasure. It's a little bit longer, but you get all the fluff and all the context. And of course, our little Q&A at the back end. So with that, we're going to close out tonight with our lovely players. And we're going to raid out to our... What the fuck? Rage, you son of a bitch.
I was going to do a thing, but it just kind of went through.
You're going to do a thing?
Yeah, I had this whole fucking thing in my head, and I was like, "Hey, Bert, when's your birthday?" And then you were gonna tell me whatever the fuck it was. Like, I'm sure I missed a few, and then hit it, and then let it go through, but it didn't. Yeah,
Fucking shithead. I appreciate it, but we're gonna raid out to our friend Psycho Joker. Him and his whiff are playing Lethal Company, which is always a fun time to be had by all. So we're gonna start the raid out to them. Go show them some love. Go show them some fun times with all of you fine folks here. And then we will see you next Friday for more D&D. I'm looking to do more art and music streams during the week when I have time as like decompression, just like a couple hours, talk with you guys, hang out with you guys. Tomorrow, I don't know what I'm going to be doing for streaming. I have a couple of ideas. I'm on the fence about most of them. Because I'm probably gonna be doing some Bard City work tomorrow, but we'll see. Otherwise, I may come on and start a Soulsborne, or we may just play some co-op games with Rexus and company. Who's to know? We'll find out when we get there. But thank you so much for being here with this. Being able to do these sessions online is a lot of fun, especially kind of getting to show everyone the worlds I create and the storytelling elements I get to run in. But with that, we're out of here for the night. Thank you so much. And we will see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.